Hello everyone, and welcome to Fictional Vortex. So we are back with an interesting series on what if Naruto become a Anbu hunter. But before we start, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy my content. Let's start the story. Naruto's hair rebelled against him. The spiky mass of golden brown stubbornly formed around the goggles he wore. Well, I better start my daily warm-ups. Naruto did his daily routine in 1 hour. He locked his apartment and walked to the grocery store. Soon he had purchased his breakfast. Hey, Kit. How you feeling? I know those people were innocent. Why did I have to kill them? Don't worry about it. Today's your graduation, so you need to control your emotions. I know every technique and Anbu knows, plus everything else you have taught me, yet I can't keep my conscience from nagging me. Which reminds me, why have you helped me all these years? I truly know what it is to be an outcast. Really? I was born with 9 tails. My family, other foxes, and other animals thought I was evil or something, and shunned me because of it. Since I grew up being called a demon, it sunk into my mind that I was a demon. So that's when I gained my reputation of being Kyubi the 9 tails fox. You have a good heart and I will help you as much as possible so you don't go down the same road I did. It's a very unhappy road. Plus I got stuck in you because of it. So Fox, why did you attack my village? The fox stayed silent. You tell me when you were ready. By now they had reached the academy. Still lost in thought, he walked into Sakura. Her small gasp brought him back to reality. He watched as she fell to the gravel road. She suddenly felt a pair of strong hands go underneath the small of her back and the back of her knees. Her body felt a little too comfortable in the arms of the blonde boy. Color rushed to her cheeks. Naruto, I am so sorry, Sakura. I had a bad night last night and I'm a little out of it today. It's okay, and thanks for catching me. His sky blue eyes mesmerized her. That is until he broke her from her trance. No problem. He has wonderful eyes. Wait, what am I thinking? I love Sasuke. Why am I thinking about this idiot like this? I should probably ask him to put me down, nicely. Hey Naruto? Yeah? Could you put me down now? Yeah. Sorry about that. It's okay, don't worry about it. Why do the adults think Naruto is a bad guy? He can be sweet sometimes, but that doesn't mean that I'm falling for him. She thought, justifying it in her, that even though he had times he was nice, she still wouldn't fall for the blonde. Over the years he had matured more than most 12-year-olds would. Even though he was slightly shorter than her, he wasn't too obnoxious, but there were times when he would have to be defiant of people and say they were wrong. All those times people said he couldn't do something, he only received a challenge to prove them wrong. Sure, he could be childish every once in a while, but he was determined to prove he could be the best ninja ever alive. Sakura still didn't know why people said he was bad news and excuses like that. So why are you early, Naruto? I really don't know. I couldn't go to sleep anymore, so I got up. You? Sasuke is always early, so I thought I would be. Really? Well, you better hurry, he's already here. Really? Is my hair okay? Do I look okay? You look fine. Go talk to him, he said with a small smile tugging at the edges of his mouth. She ran off towards her love. Then she yelled over her shoulder. It was nice talking to you. You too, he muttered under his breath. Kit, why don't you tell her your feelings for her? It doesn't matter, Fox. As long as she's happy, it's fine with me, even if I'm not meant to be with her. Who am I to tell who she likes or should see? I will protect her no matter what people say or do to me. I will die to make her happy. Like I said before, you have a good heart, kid. I think you're getting too soft, Fox. Would you want me to just stop helping you? I know what it's like to be in love. No, I wouldn't want you to stop helping me, but what do you mean you were in love? Iruka-sensei came outside and called for everyone to come inside. Naruto was the last one to enter and one of the last ones to sit down. One by one I will call your name and you will report to room across from this one. Of course everyone was called one by one. Then it came to Naruto. Uzumaki, Naruto. He heard a few remarks like, this is his 3rd time trying to pass. Or, I bet he'll fail. These he was used to, but he wasn't prepared for when he entered the other room. Hey Mizuki? Iruka inquired. Yeah? Did you hear about the Anbu that took out those 2 rogue ninjas? Yeah, I heard the shortest one, but also the most talented took them out. Kid, don't think about that, it will just distract your mind. Right. Okay Naruto, Show us a bunshin. Okay. Gathering chakra, he performed the bunshin. Sadly, before he did the jutsu, a simple phrase went through his mind. You killed those innocent men. He lost all control at the last second. His jutsu produced 3 ineffective clones. Iruka looked disappointed at him. I know he could do this jutsu, but what went wrong? I'm so sorry, Naruto, but you fail. You fail, Naruto. Go outside like the others and wait there. Iruka, can't we give this kid a break? He did produce 3 clones. Yes, that is true. They were ineffective though, and I can't do that without disobeying the rules. The boy walked calmly out of the building. He had failed miserably. What happened, Naruto? I don't want to talk about it, Fox. No problem, kid. The last student walked out. Everyone's parents congratulated their children. The Hokage was standing there with Iruka-sensei. Mizuki came up from behind Uzumaki to talk to him. The boy left with the man. Iruka, I need to talk with you. Yes, Hokage, that night. Iruka, come quick. Naruto stole the scroll of sealing. Mizuki yelled from behind Iruka's door. What? A large team of ninja met the Hokage at town square. Hokage. This is the last straw. Naruto has gone too far this time. Do you know what is contained in that scroll could destroy the leaf if it falls into the wrong hands? Yes, I know. Search for him. OSSU, all the ninja yelled. Mizuki and Iruka ran in the same direction, but eventually they split apart. Naruto, where could you be? Iruka pondered. Meanwhile, the very same blonde boy stood in an open, yet secluded area of forest. A single wooden shack had been built in this clearing. So the rumors are true, Fox. Mizuki is the one who was after the scroll. Always thinking about your other life, aren't you? Well, I sort of have to, just so I can keep my cover and stuff like that. I understand. Hey Naruto, you might want to go get change. Someone is coming, and will be here in 5 minutes. The boy took the scroll into the shed with him. In a minute the male reappeared, dressed in his Anbu suit. Placing his hands in a seal, he whispered. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, one single carbon copy revealed itself. I quickly changed into Naruto's other clothes. The real Naruto threw dust all over his copy to make it look as though the clone had been working hard to learn a jutsu from the scroll. A few minutes passed and Iruka was visible beside Naruto. Why did you do it, Naruto? The man demanded. Mizuki said if I learned a technique from this scroll I could pass. I have been able to perform one and I pass, right? No, Mizuki is. Naruto, get out of the way. Kunais filled Iruka's limbs and torso as he pushed the boy away. There in the trees was the traitor, Mizuki. An evil smirk was spread across his rough face. So, I guess you found out about my little plan. I'll do the village a favor and kill Naruto, then I'll go after you, my friend. He unattached one large shuriken that was held on his back. He threw it at the small ninja on the ground. Naruto, get down, his sensei ordered. The copy obeyed. A sickening sound of metal-piercing flesh was heard. Naruto looked at Iruka. Why, sensei? Why did you save me? Because it's like to live without parents. I began to become the class clown so I would be recognized as someone and to be accepted by everyone. The real Naruto eyes started to moisten his eyelashes. Iruka knows that same pain and desire for recognition as I do. He really cares for me? Naruto thought for a while. He came to the conclusion that Iruka was definitely someone he had to protect. At that moment Mizuki yelled at the clone. Do you know why the village hates your guts? Do you know why most people wish you were never born? We are forbidden to talk about it, the black-haired man screamed. It's because you are the Nine-Tails demon fox. Silence took hold of the situation. No, that can't be true. The clone screamed and ran for his life. Mizuki. Naruto has a demon inside of him. Naruto lowered his head. But that doesn't classify him as a demon. He didn't get the choice of being the container of the Kyuubi. You won't get in my way, Iruka. The traitor yelled as he chucked the large shuriken at the Chunin. In an instant the copy stopped the weapon and yelled at him. You will not touch my sensei. You are challenging me, Fox? I could take you out in one move? Take your best shot, fool. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. 2,000 clones appeared from a big eruption of smoke. Mizuki froze in his steps. This is impossible, he screamed. Wow. Naruto mastered a high-level jutsu in one day. These aren't illusions either, they're solid clone. Naruto's teacher thought. Since you won't attack, I'll come to you. They simultaneously attacked the fear-stricken Chunin. The fight had ended when the clones were bored of beating the living daylights out of the man. Iruka propped himself against a large tree. Naruto, come here. I have something for you. The child stood in front of his teacher. Now close your eyes until I tell you to open them. Asu. He simply answered. He heard the rustle of fabric and a nice silky feeling caress his forehead. Okay, you can open your eyes now. The boy obeyed. Congratulations, you graduate. What? Naruto said from his hiding place. The Anbu jumped from his hiding place. Iruka, can I have the scroll? I need Mizuki for interrogation and I thought I might as well return the scroll. How can I trust you? The black-haired man inquired. I'm an Anbu, what more proof do you need? Okay, I trust you. The short Anbu turned to leave but spoke. Uzumaki, thanks for your assistance in catching a traitor. No problem, mister. I am known as Fox. The ninja's mask sort of seemed to agree with the elite ninja's words. Suddenly a few more Anbu appeared next to their comrade. Well done, Fox. You seem to surprise us more and more each assignment. I didn't do this. Uzumaki Naruto did. You should thank him. But he's the one who stole the scroll. A tall, well-tanned man spoke. Yes, it is true he stole the scroll, but he also made up for it by capturing Mizuki. The real Naruto, also known as Fox by the Anbu, pointed to the bruised man lying on the grass completely unconscious. Take him and the scroll. I will report to the Hokage, Fox instructed. Ryoukai. His companions obeyed. The short ninja walked over to the two and bowed low. Thanks once again, Uzumaki. After watching you, I bet you can fulfill your dream. I bid you farewell for now. With a poof of smoke, the Anbu disappeared. His teammates did the same. It left Naruto and Iruka staring surprised at what had just occurred. Well, for a celebration gift I'm taking you out for ramen. Really, Iruka-sensei? That's awesome. Early in the morning the clone had returned to his house. The instant it entered, the real boy appeared from the window on the opposite side of the house. How did it go, clone? Very well, I'm stuffed. Oh, I guess this is yours. Slowly untying his headband, the carbon copy handed it to Naruto. With a poof of smoke he disappeared. Soon the blonde had removed his Anbu clothing, and hid them in a secret compartment in the wall. Well, I only got 4 hours until school starts. Naruto had soon jumped in and out of the shower. Still in his towel, he went to the bedroom and faced the south wall. Steadily he stuck his hand into the wall. From someone else's point of view it looked as though he was reaching into water. The wall sent ripples throughout itself every time he moved his forearm. With a little bit of difficulty he pulled out a large 4 foot by 5 foot trunk. Biting his thumb, he placed his hand on the seal that had kept it close. A large creak flew through the room as he opened it. The box had 4 compartments. The first 2 held a set of clothes. The third section held 28 weapons of many different types. The last section held a ton of scrolls. After grabbing the first pair of clothes, the boy tried to place the weighted garments on. Soon he had the heavy material on. It wasn't too heavy, but just enough to help him train while everyday things occurred. His black shirt and pants didn't seem absorb light at all. In fact, they appeared to not react to light at all. His cloak was different. Its red color made him stand out. The white fire design that protruded about a foot from the bottom of the coat made it even more noticeable. On the back of the material it had a few symbols on it. Only Naruto knew what they said. Before he put the chest away, he grabbed 2 katanas, placing them in the sheaths on his legs. 10 shurikens, where he put in the holsters on his thighs. 5 kunais, those he put on his waist holsters. And a few scrolls, that he placed in his inner pockets on his coat. He was ready for the day. Even though he still had about 2.5 hours before school, he left his house. He practically skipped to Ichiraku's. After eating about 5 bowls of ramen, he headed towards the academy. No one was there yet until he stepped into the classroom. Iruka looked up from his papers and noticed the boy. Naruto, the Chunin staggered. What are you doing here so early? I wasn't tired, so I came to class early. Really? Well, you can take your seat and wait for the day to start. Oh, and by the way, nice clothes. Thanks, they were my father's. I guess he has figured out who his father is. That cloak he wears is the fourth S. 45 minutes passed. By that time Sasuke, Sakura, Ino, and Shikamaru had come into the room. 15 more minutes passed and everybody else was sitting and chatting. Once the last second on the clock notified it was time to stop talking and begin class, Iruka stood up. Quiet class. The man ordered. Instantly everyone was silent. Iruka continued. Good job on graduating. Now, I will list of people who will be meeting with their new senseis today. When I call you please come and stand with your team. Team 10, Nara Shikamaru, Akamichi Choji and Yamanaka Ino. Team 8, Inazuka Kiba, Aburame Shino and Hyuga Hinata. Team 7, Uchiha Sasuke, Harunos Sakura, and Uzumaki Naruto. A lot of gasps erupted from the class. Everyone started looking for the blonde boy, but all was in vain. Iruka looked all over the place too and did see him. Naruto, aren't you going to come down? I'm already here, sensei. Soon their attention was faced towards the newly dressed genin standing next to Sakura. Everyone's thought was the same, I didn't see him even walk up there. Okay, you three teams go to your separate rooms where your senseis will meet with you in about 30 minutes. Your team number will be posted on the door. Yes, sensei. The 9 marched to their respected rooms. A half an hour had passed and the other 2 senseis came. 30 more minutes passed, still no one came for Team 7. Another hour passed and still no one showed up. Naruto had been sitting in the front row with his feet propped up on the desk. Sasuke had been sitting with his arms crossed and eyes closed. Sakura was staring at Sasuke whenever she could. Without breaking the silence, the blonde stood up and placed a chalkboard eraser near the top of the slightly open sliding door. Naruto, what are you doing? Sakura asked. That's the penalty for being late, the blonde responded. Do you really think a Chunin would fall for such a simple little trick? Instant a hand appeared on the edge of the door. Next a head showed itself. With a puff of chalk dust the person's head was hid by the chalkboard eraser. Bullseye. The boy yelled. The gray-haired Chunin signed. Well, my first impression of this team is you're a bunch of idiots. All 3 genin sort of slumped their backs. Well, follow me. Obediently they followed. Once outside, the Chunin sat on the safety railing while the 3 students sat on some steps. So, my name is Kakashi and I will be your sensei. One by one you will tell me your name, your likes, dislikes, and dreams. I'll start. As you already know, I am Kakashi. I have lots of things I like and few things I dislike. My dreams, I would rather not say. That's helpful. Sakura stated sarcastically, he didn't tell us much. You on the left, let's start with you. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like ramen, pulling pranks every once in a while, and my job. I dislike a couple of things. My dream is to become Hokage. That way everyone will stop disrespecting me and look up to me. Okay. Next. I am Harunos Sakura. I like a certain boy. My dislikes I would rather not say, and my dream is for someone to acknowledge me. Next. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I don't feel like telling you my likes or dislikes. My dreams is to restore my clan and kill a certain person. This is an interesting bunch. Okay, now that we know each other, I want to tell you that you will be meeting me at the training field at 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, and don't eat breakfast unless you like to puke. The man walked away. The day passed and night came. Morning then crept from the depths of the horizon. All 3 met halfway to the training grounds. No one talked the whole way. It was 7:55 when they arrived. 35 minutes flew by and their sensei finally appeared. Good, you all made it. Kakashi pulled out an alarm clock and set it to go off at 11 o'clock. Let me explain. You 3 need to try and get these bells from me before time runs out. You have 3 hours to try and get them. But there is only 2 of them and 3 of us, the girl protested. Well, that's for you to figure out. Ready, go, Kakashi yelled, turning around. 2 people disappeared. Naruto just stood there. The man wasn't paying attention. Running at a good speed, the boy launched himself at the Chunin. Kakashi whipped around and grabbed the boy, throwing him across open area. Naruto twisted in the air and skidded along the ground. Compared to the others, you're a bit weird. Proud of it, sensei. Okay. Once again the blonde launched himself at the man. The Chunin reached into his back pouch and was rummaging around for something. Naruto stopped. Taijutsu, or in other words hand-to-hand combat. That's one of my best, the genin thought. To his surprise, the man didn't pull out a kunai or shuriken but a book. He's mocking me. Why are you reading that book? The 12-year-old demanded. To find out what happens next. Fox, can I just knock him out or something? No, you would give away too much. Okay, then what can I do? Just fight and look for an opening and attack then. Asu. Blitzing towards the male with a kunai in hand, he began to attack. Kakashi kept dodging while reading that perverted book of his. With one more attack, the boy ended up with his back facing his sensei. Naruto, never let your opponent get behind you. The man's hands formed a single seal. From Sakura's point of view, that attack looked like it could completely destroy Naruto. Naruto, get out of there, she screamed. He looked behind him. Right as he did, Kakashi thrusted his hands forward. At the last second, the boy jumped a foot into the air, grabbed Kakashi's hands and kicked back. His feet connected with the unsuspecting ninja's face. The elite nin flew through the air a couple yards. Since when was Naruto this good? The other two genin asked themselves. After skidding a little, Naruto was on top of him. With one quick jerk of his hand, he grabbed a bell and walked off. Don't underestimate me. You found that out the hard way. Oh crap, that kid's got a good kick. What do I do now? He got the bell fair and square, but he didn't use teamwork. It only took him an hour to get the bell. I might as well see if the other two can get one. A few hours later. Well, not exactly what I expected, but still, you fail. What? Naruto, you fought solo. Sakura, you went looking for Sasuke and didn't consider helping Naruto, who was right in front of you. And Sasuke, you thought you were too good, so you went solo too. Even though Naruto got a bell, you three still fail, because you didn't catch on to the main goal of this test. What was the goal, sensei? The tied-up girl asked. Teamwork. Now I will give you a second chance after lunch. Naruto and Sasuke may eat, but Sakura can't. If any of you give her your food, you will all fail. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Kakashi. The boys answered. A poof of smoke and their master was gone. The boys opened their meals. But soon after opening his, Naruto held his next to Sakura's head while he cut her free. Eat. But Kakashi said, he's gone by now, and plus you won't be useful if you're hungry, am I right? Well, she thought about it for a minute before she responded. Okay, if you are sure it's okay with you. She lightly grabbed it from his grasp. Arigato, Naruto. No problem. Suddenly a large explosion appeared. Kakashi came from the smoke with an angry expression on his face. You. Everyone flinched and fell backwards. Sakura's food flew high into the air. Pass. What? You pass? Is it that hard to understand? But why? You guys are the first to ever pass. Everyone else did as I said, and they're all a bunch of idiots. A ninja must see underneath the underneath. Those who break the rules are called scum, but those who don't care about their comrades are lower than scum. All three of them were silent. You all passed. As of tomorrow we are going to doing missions. Kakashi and Sasuke walked away while the other two stood there. We became ninja. Sweet. Naruto was jumping up and down, so was Sakura. Hell yeah. Wait until my mom hears about this. Right after their ranting stopped, Sakura's food landed on her head. Crap, she exclaimed. The rice and other contents of the food box spilled all over her. Naruto looked at her with an amused smile plastered on his face. Here, he handed the pink-haired girl a bottle of mineral water. It's a special mineral water. Wash your hair with it and it should get all the food out of it. Oh, and here, use this as a towel. He took of his cloak and handed that to Sakura. Thanks again, Naruto. No problem. You don't mind if I walk you home afterwards? No, I don't mind. I don't think my parents mind either. Okay. She took about 20 minutes to wash her locks. Returning to his side, she gave back his coat. He looked at the soaked garment. With one quick hand sign, it seemed to dry instantly. The blonde placed it back on his body and gestured for them to start. They didn't seem to talk much about anything. After they had gotten near the east side of the village, Sakura stopped in front of a semi-large house. It had a fenced-in front yard with a large cherry tree on the right. Wow, you got a big house. Not really. Seriously, compared to my apartment, this place is huge. It's a little big for me and my mother, but we've gotten used to it. I hope you don't mind if I ask where's your father? He died protecting me from some people who wanted to kidnap me and use me for something weird. Sorry I asked. Don't worry about it. That was 2 years ago. Well, I better get going. My mother usually gets worried if I'm not home within an hour after things have ended. Well, I guess I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Sakura, get in the house, dear. Yes, mother. Naruto stood there for a minute thinking to himself. Fox, that was the year I joined the Anbu. Maybe I can find out something about it in the archives. Naruto, do you sense that? Yeah, what do you think it could be? For some strange reason, kid, I know that smell, but I can't identify it. Oh well. It's unimportant. With Sakura and Mrs. Haruno. Honey, what took you so long? I spilled some stuff all over my hair. And Naruto. Is that boy's last name Uzumaki? Yes, why do you ask? Oh, nothing, dear. So you were saying. Naruto gave me some mineral water and his cloak and I washed up my hair. Then he walked me home. Really? That's good. Why? His clan was the strongest in the entire world, she said with a matter-of-factly tone. Really, does he know? No, not that I know of. Well, enough of that. Can you go to the grocery store and get us some milk, bread, and chocolate while you're at it? Yes, mother. The girl put a coat on and stepped out of the house. Mrs. Haruno ran from the kitchen hoping to catch her before she left the front yard. Right as she stepped out of the house, she witnessed her daughter being grabbed, knocked out, and thrown over her captor's shoulder. The man's long blue hair was all she caught before he disappeared. The woman screamed. Naruto heard and came running. Mrs. Haruno, what's the matter? They took Sakura. The terrified woman pointed at the blurry objects jumping into the distance. I'll go tell the Hokage. The boy jumped off towards the tower. Just before he reached it, he pressed his hands together and whispered a few words. A red ball enveloped him. When he exited, his clothes were that of an ANBU's. His mask showed the face of a fox. His weapons didn't disappear with the rest of his other clothes, but stayed in their holsters. He again pressed his hands together and 3 Anbu showed up next to him. What's the crisis, Fox? Haruno Sakura has been taken from her home by unknown people. Shark, go tell the Hokage. Wolf and Hawk, go talk to Mrs. Haruno. She may need someone to comfort her. I will go after the girl. Be careful, Fox. If it's the same men that tried to take her 2 years ago, then they will do anything to keep her. They killed her father last time. We don't want to lose you. Sure thing, Wolf. Let's go, people, the boy commanded. Yes, sir. They went their separate ways. With Sakura. Where am I? Why am I moving when I'm laying down? Wait. Who is this that is carrying me? Why can't I move? What is that yellow blur coming towards me? Suddenly her senses came back to her. She saw the burly man holding her over his shoulder. The yellow blur was soon in front of her, and knocked her off the man's shoulder. The Anbu caught her before she hit the ground below her. The feel of the Anbu's arms felt a little familiar and quite wonderful to be in. Why did you take her? A rough, but boyish voice shouted. We have our purposes. I see you aren't from any of the 5 major powers. You are correct, but you won't live long enough to find out where we are from. Hayaten. Roga Nadare no Jutsu. The enemy yelled. A low rumble could be heard behind the enemy. A large blanket of snow began to head towards Naruto. The snow turned into the form of wolves. So the wolf fang avalanche technique. That all you got? Kaden. Karyu Enden. A large fire shaped like a dragon shot from the boy's mouth. It melted all the snow and burned the man to a tender crisp. The Anbu then took out his 2 katanas and charged at the 4 men. They drew kunais and tried to attack. The clash of metal was heard all the way to the gate of Konoha. Naruto was able to kill one of them but didn't see the attack that followed. While 2 of the men kept his 2 arms occupied, the other gave a wound that went from the top of his left shoulder all the way to the bottom right of his stomach. Still in pain, he used chakra to spin himself. His 2 swords sliced through their necks. The last one looked shocked and tried to run. Hayaten. Kokuryubo Fusetsu. A large black chakra dragon with red eyes pursued its prey until it connected with its target. The blood dripped from Naruto's wound. He stumbled over to Sakura. Ms. Haruno, are you all right? Yes. What is your name? You may call me Fox. Thank you for saving me. He fell to his knees. Oh my, you're hurt. Here, let me help you to my house. My mother can help you. No, I must return you to your house. Don't worry about me. I have a high tolerance to pain. I don't want to get my blood on your nice dress, so get on. He turned his back to her. She obeyed, and he was off. Soon her house was visible from their position. He stopped at the door and rang the bell. It opened. Mrs. Haruno, your daughter is here. The woman was in a bright white nightgown and a red robe covering her frame. Tears streamed down her face as she looked at her daughter's sleeping form. Wolf came to the door and picked the girl off his companion's back. The older Haruno looked at the Anbu who stood in the dark. She wrapped her arms around him and whispered in his ear. Thank you so much. You have no idea how precious she is to me. I actually know how precious she is. I'm sorry about your gown. She looked at her now blood-covered nightgown. Don't worry about it. Please come in, I will look at your wound. We Harunos are known for our medic ninjutsu. You're going to need to take off your armor and shirt. He obeyed. Fox, don't heal me, when you are the seal is visible on my stomach. No prob, Kit. Could you come over for dinner tomorrow? Sure, Mrs. Haruno, but you know that I have to remain in my mask. That's okay with me. Naruto waited patiently as the woman bandaged him up. She noted that his body looked pretty good for a young person. So Fox. How old are you? Your daughter's age? Really? You're an Anbu at this age? Am I the first one you told? Most Anbu I know don't know how old I am. I have researched your clan and found that your clan is the type that can keep a secret. I know I can trust you. Do you have any parents? No, they died 12 years ago. Sorry to bring it up. Do you have any relatives? Nope. Everyone in my family is dead. I am the only left after the Kyuubi attacked. So how have you gotten through life all these years? The Hokage has helped me a lot. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. We all love our Hokage. Yeah, you could say he's sort of a grandfather figure. Silence was all that seemed to welcome them as the conversation ended. After finishing her work, Mrs. Haruno began another conversation. So do you like my daughter? Why are you asking me this? Just wondering, because she's supposedly in love with Uchiha Sasuke. Go figures. Almost every girl I know likes him, from age 10 all the way to age 30. It's sort of creepy if you know what I mean. Are you jealous? Why would I have the reason to? Because he's one of those silent cool types that all girls love. From what I can tell, you're the type that is kind-hearted and confident. Don't worry, your type isn't noticed until girls get the idea that the Sasuke type would never love them. Well, thanks for everything, Mrs. Haruno. Do you mind if I go say goodbye to Sakura? Not at all. Just don't get any bad ideas or I'll kill you. He flinched at her comment. She then put on a comforting smile. It's the second door on the right. Thanks. The Anbu opened her bedroom door. She was sleeping softly on a big bed. He stood there watching the covers rise and fall. He lowered his head and took off his mask just so his mouth was visible. I shouldn't. He moved his mouth higher on her face and kissed her forehead. Soon he was back downstairs. The elder Haruno was no longer in sight, so he thought he should leave. His broken armor was back on his small, but muscular frame. As he reached for the doorknob, Naruto's shoulder was tapped. I would like you to take this. It's a thank you gift for all that you've done. I don't deserve this. He coolly replied. No, you do. It was my husband's and Sakura can't use it, and I have no use for it. Please take it. Okay. If you're sure, I can have it. But before you leave, could you pull out the blade? Just for one last look at it. Sure, no problem. He quickly drew the silver blade. For some strange reason, a spiral of yellow started to encircle the metal. Then all of a sudden a red spiral encircled the blade the opposite way of the yellow. Usually the blam one outside of our clan. I will need to research this strange occurrence. Thank you once again, Fox. I am eternally grateful to you for saving my daughter. The boy placed an arm behind his head and scratched it. Don't mention it. Your daughter is worth it. She sort of flinched at the kind comment. Before she could say another thing, a poof of smoke replaced the Anbu. That kid is interesting. With Naruto, hopefully I didn't give too much information. He gathered a lot of chakra and sent out an invisible chakra shockwave. He sensed no one was awake for about 100 yards. After looking around, just in case, he pressed his hands together and another red globe surrounded him. He exited and was once again in his father's clothes. I got to get sleep. We have some lame missions tomorrow. Well, it's not your fault that you're a genin. Remember, just try not to show off. Yeah. Silently he walked home. Once inside, Naruto put on his PJs. His dreams were centered on his pink-haired teammate. A small knock on the window woke the 12-year-old from his sleep. Rubbing the sleep from his eyes, he peered out the window. Kakashi was sitting on the metal railing on Naruto's patio. He walked outside. Did you need something, Kakashi? I heard that you usually eat ramen, so I brought you some fruits and vegetables. Thanks for your concern. We still meeting in 2 hours, or are you going to be late? I'll try to get there on time. You better, or I'll come looking for you, and believe me, you won't want me to. The boy raised his fist in his sensei's face. The man slightly flinched and began to jump after handing the basket to his student. Oh, be careful, Kakashi, I just cleaned those rails. The man was sent flying downwards towards the ground. His face drove into the dirt. Now he tells me. Crap, that hurt. Sorry, I should have told you earlier. Naruto yelled over his shoulder as he went back inside. Those 2 hours passed by quickly. Hello, team. Kakashi was on time for once. We have a few missions to do today. I guess we should get started. 1 hour later, Naruto, in position. Sasuke, in position. Sakura, in position. Is the target visible? Yes, they all answered in a low tone. Ready, go. The three jumped from their locations. Their target yelped in surprise and tried to run away. Naruto grabbed it before it could move. The cat had been caught. Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi high-fived each other as the cat started to wrestle with Naruto in the background. When they returned to the NJA, the feline was handed over to a large woman. Stupid cat. He deserves that torture, the scratched-up boy stated. Well, good job completing 5D missions in 1 day. The next mission is, the Hokage started. No thanks. I want a different mission. These are getting too easy, Naruto proclaimed. I agree, Sasuke agreed mentally. Why is he like this? He's the one who's always getting injured, Sakura proposed internally. Sigh, I thought he was going to do this, Kakashi thought. Naruto, stop complaining. You have to have the simple jobs and then you work your way up, Iruka yelled. But we keep getting lame missions. Sasuke could do these with his eyes closed. A compliment? Sasuke wondered. Shut up, Naruto. Kakashi ordered, hitting him in the head. Naruto, you know how the system works, but I am willing to make an exception. At your current level you can take a C-rank mission, if your sensei agrees to it, that is. The elder man suggested. Please, Senseiiso badly want to do this, the boy exclaimed. Sigh, I guess we can. What's the mission? It's a protection mission. Let me introduce Tazuna, he is a bridge builder. You will be escorting him to the country of Wave. This is my protection? 3 brats. Are they actually ninja? Especially that short one? I kill him. Naruto screamed. Before the boy could attack, his teacher had grabbed his coat and kept him from moving forward. We are supposed to protect him, not kill him, Naruto. Fine, but one more comment and not even you will be able to stop me. Naruto, you're such a doby, the raven-haired boy announced. Shut up, Teme. The blonde countered. Both of you knock it off before I do it for you, Sakura scolded. Naruto, stop calling Sasuke that. Everyone flinched from her comment. She was known to be a little drastic when it came to calming people down. What an interesting bunch. Tazuna thought. Team 7 met at the gate as soon as they could. Everyone had prepared for a long trip. Let's go. Why are you so excited, Naruto? The girl asked. To tell you the truth, I've never been outside the village. Tazuna overheard and asked Kakashi. Am I going to be safe with little brat? Don't worry, I'm an elite ninja. I should give him a punch to the face for that. Cool it. I know you can't much of your power, due to the fact that Kakashi was an ANBU, but you can't let this guy get to your head. You, old geezer. What do you want? The name is Uzumaki, Naruto. I will protect you during this mission and finish it even if it costs me my life. The boy has determination, I'll give him that. Well, let's go. The boy yelled, running down the road. Naruto, wait up. Kakashi screamed after the boy. I swear he's going to get us all killed. The group traveled for about 5 hours before stopping. As they were beginning to stop, they passed by a seeming large puddle. Kit, I know they are most likely going to go for Kakashi first, then probably take Sakura out. Knowing Kakashi since I read up on him in the Anbu files, he's definitely seen them. Just as he had predicted, two ninja replaced the puddle and wrapped a large chain around the Chunin. One down, in an instant Kakashi was cut to pieces. They then wrapped up Sakura. She couldn't move, that is until she felt herself move. Naruto used a replacement jutsu to switch places with her. She looked at him with tears in his eyes. Sasuke, take care of them, he yelled as the chain ripped through him. Two down. Sasuke became angered and launched at the two demon brothers. Using a shuriken and a kunai, he stuck the chain into a nearby tree, and therefore trapping them. After grabbing their arms, he kicked both of their heads. The deadly chain snapped off their gauntlets, free them from its grasp. The only thing they weren't free of was Sasuke's wrath. Punch after punch, the Uchiha beat them to a bloody pulp. Suddenly Kakashi appeared and stopped the boy from going any further. Stop, Sasuke. Control yourself. They killed Naruto. He struggled against his sensei's grip. Why would Sasuke care about Naruto? It's not like he's his friend, Sakura pondered. I know, Sasuke, but if you don't control your anger, then we won't be able to find out what they were doing. Fine. Uchiha walked off with his hands in his pockets. Sakura followed him. Tazuna. I need to speak with you. Sweat was forming on the builder's face. You said in your description that you would need only minimal protection from bandits, robbers, and maybe animals. You never mentioned that other ninjas from other countries would be after you. Because of this, Konoha lost one of its most powerful ninjas. What do you mean? The ninja known as Uzumaki Naruto is an Anbu. I know this because this morning I saw a tattoo on his left shoulder. It was the tattoo of an Anbu, and they are considered more powerful than Chunin. I don't know why he would have gotten killed on a C-rank mission when he could do S-rank missions by himself. He might have been careless and thought this would be a breeze, but he thought wrong. I looked in the Anbu files this morning before I met with my team. There was only one Anbu whose name wasn't known. Naruto fits the descriptions perfectly. Probably the only reason why he died was because he used the replacement jutsu to switch places with Sakura. After using it, he couldn't perform it for another 5 seconds. I might be the only one who knows he was an Anbu. With Sasuke and Sakura, neither talked. They both just wanted to have silence. Why did he switch places with me? I should be the one dead, not him. Why him? The question ht her off guard. What? Why him, Sakura? He was treated as dirt throughout his childhood, yet he was able to stand the pain of everyone's dark glares and harsh words. He knows the pain of feeling alone. It's like a living hell. Why was he killed? Sasuke, please, don't beat yourself up about it. What can I say that will help? I was given parents. Sasuke's parents were killed by his brother, and Naruto wasn't given any parents after he was born. Why not Sakura? If I had been faster in making the choice to attack, I could have saved you and Naruto wouldn't be dead. She had always known the boy for keeping his emotions in check, but he was mentally breaking down. The only thing she knew to do in a situation like this was. Sakura? He looked at the girl that was hugging him. Please stop blaming yourself. It wasn't your fault. He chose to take my place. I regret that I won't be able to say thanks for everything he did for me. What are you talking about? Throughout his childhood I treated him like everyone else did. There were times when I was being teased and he would defend me. I lost count last year how many times he saved me or stood up for me. So don't beat yourself up when I'm the one who treated him like dirt. You treated him as a friend. Up until now he was a little uncomfortable with what the pink-haired girl did, but after hearing her confess what she had did, he returned her hug. Minutes later they separated and looked at each other and blushed. Thanks. The chorused. Are you two done? We need to continue with the mission. That's what Naruto would want. They walked next to their sensei in a dead silence. 2 hours later they stopped. Everyone down. Kakashi ordered. Instantly a large blade swirled over their heads. When they looked up, there stood a man on the large sword that was implanted in a tree. I finally get to meet the famous copycat Kakashi. The tone of his voice chilled their blood. The black-haired man looked down on his victims. So Momochi, Zabuza, the demon of the mist. I'm honored to be known by Hitaki Kakashi. Sasuke, stay out of this fight. You too, Sakura. Protect Tazuna at all costs. Asu. A few minutes later, Kakashi, Sakura yelled. Run. Take Tazuna with you and get him home. he yelled from his position in the prison jutsu. Tazuna, I know we are supposed to protect you, but I must save my sensei. Go ahead, Sasuke. The Uchiha prodigy stepped forward to oppose the mist ninja that held their sensei in a water prison. Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu, the man said from his position over the lake. A duplicate of Zabuza formed from its depths. The boy prepared for an attack. The clone ran towards him and slashed downwards with his weapon. Luckily Sasuke somersaulted backwards. Soon after gaining his footing he pulled out a windmill shuriken. You will die here, he whispered under his breath. Spinning, the large shuriken headed towards the water clone. It flew past with such speed it almost ripped apart the clone. I see, aiming for the real body. No shuriken will ever touch me. The object missed his head by an inch, due to the fact that Zabuza sidestepped with his left foot. Team 7 looked amazed as the windmill weapon missed its intended target. What's wrong with them? It's like they've seen a ghost. All I did was dodge his attack. The demon of the mist thought to himself. Momochi, Zabuza, your life ends here. A mysterious voice said as the man felt a hand encase his chin. With a simple whip of his hand the stranger snapped the ninja's neck. The enemy's jutsu soon ended after his death. The blonde helped Kakashi up as the bubble made him lose balance. No, it can't be. Naruto, how did you escape? The Chunin simple asked dumbfounded. The substitution jutsu takes 5 seconds after completion to reuse, right? Well, I barely made it out. The genin removed his father's coat and there in plain sight were poorly bandaged, bloodly arms. Sasuke lowered his head so his bangs covered his eyes. Naruto, you idiot. Why did you do that to us? Naruto's rival demanded. I know that I should have revealed myself earlier, but my chance of saving you guys from Zabuza would be about 30%. A percentage I'm not comfortable with. But still, why did you have to let us think you were dead? Sakura questioned him. It was for my own purpose. I hope you understand, the blonde answered. Naruto, when we get to Wave, can I talk to you alone? Kakashi asked. Sure. Now can we get to where we are supposed to be? Yes. The Chunin answered. Sakura was extremely silent throughout the entire rest of the trip. Naruto noticed this and walked slower so everyone passed him. The blue orbs scanned her downcast face. It held no emotion, not even a single trace of external awareness. He could tell his actions had had a great effect on her. Naruto decided not to disturb Sakura. 30 minutes were gone as they entered the boat that would take them to their destination. Soon after arriving at Tazuna's house, they settled down. The blonde boy went to his room. The only thing that separated Sakura's room and the boys was a 1/2 inch thick piece of wood. She heard his small whimpers of pain and he removed the bloody tissues. Slowly she tapped on the door. Who is it? Came her teammate's voice call to her. It's Sakura. Are you sure you want to come in? I'm quite bloody. I don't mind. Fine. You can come in. What she saw scared her. The blood still oozed from his arm wounds. Plus he had a large scratch going across his torso. He sat there in the middle of it all pulling out new bandages. Here, let me help. Are you sure? You've never been good with bloody situations. Just shut up and let me work. Naruto was silent the whole time. He knew not to bother her. Her soft hands moved slowly, not causing him any pain whenever she touched an open cut. She worked until no part of his arm's flesh was showing. Her hands lightly traced the bandages. It sent small shivers throughout his body. Naruto, yes, thank you, for everything. It was nothing. You're wrong. It may mean nothing to you, but it means a lot to me. Her voice was in a whisper. I know it was wrong of me to not tell you I wasn't dead, but I can't really explain why I did it. I'm sorry, he said as he placed his clothes on. He was going to hug her and comfort her, but Sakura beat him to it. This sudden action caused him to fall backwards and land on his bed. Naruto's bed is on the floor. She cried until nothing else would come. Naruto held her until she fell asleep. Her head rested on his shoulder and her hands surrounded his waist. The boy stood up when all of a sudden Kakashi walked in. Don't get any wrong ideas, Kakashi. After looking at the girl and seeing nothing appeared abnormal, he let Naruto pass. She stirred as he placed her on her bed. Moving with the stealth of an Anbu, he sneaked out of the room. The Chunin soon motioned for him to meet him outside. What do you want, Kakashi? Naruto, I know that you're an Anbu. What? Quiet. Why do you think that? I saw the tattoo on your left shoulder. The boy pulled his shirt down so his left shoulder was visible in the moonlight. Now Fox, Roger. Really, I can't see it, but I saw it this morning. The man's Sharingan tried to detect a genjutsu or something that would hide it, but it couldn't detect anything at all. How can this be? I looked up an unknown Anbu file and you fit the description perfectly. How can this be? I don't know how, but I believe your assumptions are wrong, sensei. So are we done here? Yes, go ahead, Naruto. How could I be wrong? I know I've only known him for a couple days, but how could he not be the Anbu known as Fox? His height is correct, they don't know his eye color, his hair color is correct, but his fighting style is completely different in many ways. Fox knows swordsmanship of the highest level, amazing taijutsu, and in one of the reports he appeared to be able to use the gentle fist of the Hyuga clan. Plus he acts completely different from the Naruto that I know. There are so many things they have in common, but yet so many complete opposite. I guess that I will have to research this more, but I will keep an eye on him. Wait, how could he have snapped Zabuza's neck in less than a few seconds? He was extremely surprised, and he might not have been able to put chakra into his neck to strengthen it, but still a 12-year-old able to kill a full-grown man in that time takes good chakra control. I will see how good his chakra control is tomorrow. The gray-haired man looked up at the sky before turning in for the night. I wish you were here. You would enjoy this. Morning came faster than expected. Kakashi ordered his team to follow him into the forest. He showed them the tree-climbing exercise and they began. Of course Sakura got it on the first try and Sasuke and Naruto had a little trouble at first. When Team 7 began to leave, Naruto stayed there and trained some more. Unknowing to them, he pulled out the scrolls he had in his cloak pockets. He began to study his other abilities. By the time he wore himself to near-dead exhaustion, he had learned 3 new jutsus. Naruto had been working on one of them from the beginning of his Anbu career, and he had nearly learned it. By tomorrow I should have my father's jutsu down. You have come a long way. You already know all of your mom's jutsus and 90% of your father's. You still need to work on 50 more jutsus of mine. Just don't overwork me. I know, Kit, get some sleep. Okay. An hour or so after, Naruto had a talk with a girl. Why do you bother to try so hard? No matter how hard you train, you're still no match for Gatu's men. No matter what glorious claims you make or how hard you work, when facing the strong, the weak always end up getting killed. Inari screamed angrily. Whatever, kid, I'd hate to be like you. You don't know anything about this country. Why are you being so nosy? What the hell do you know about us? You don't know what it means to suffer. You don't know how hard life is for us. Oh no, he hit the mark there. The Kyuubi thought to himself. So it's okay for you to cry all you want because of that? Just keep crying, you brat. Life isn't all what it appears to be. My life was a living hell. The fierceness in Naruto's eyes and voice scared the boy even more. Naruto, please, that's enough. Sakura pleaded in a low voice. No, Sakura, it wasn't, he returned with a tiny hint of anger. He strode into the night. Inari began to cry even harder and ran out the opposite side of the house. Kakashi sighed and joined the small boy. Sasuke just sat there with Tazuna and Tsunami. Sakura went outside to find her teammate. Sakura gently looked from side to side, her eyes searching every square inch of her surroundings. Luckily the girl caught a glimpse of the boy's white bottom of his coat. Quickly she ran towards that direction. The forest stood before her. The moon didn't help hide the scary look very well. Still she ventured forward. It took her a while to even get anywhere near where she thought he would be. Once she found a clearing, the girl stopped. Naruto, where could you be? A noise came from the right of her, then from the left of her, then behind her. Whatever it was, or they appeared to be all around her. Naruto? There was no answer. Suddenly 4 animals jumped out. Due to the darkness she couldn't quite tell what they were. They appeared interested in her. Sakura could see their hungry eyes staring at her. She was scared, lonely, and was about to be eaten by whatever these things were. The 4 animals leapt forward towards their prey. She closed her eyes. The girl heard the sickening sound of flesh being sliced through, but she felt no pain at all. Slowly she looked up to see a rather familiar boy sheathing a familiar-looking blade. He turned. Why are you out here? He said in a demanding tone. I wanted to see if you were all right, she replied. Don't worry, I'm fine. Are you sure? You seemed as though you would have killed Inari. I said don't worry. I'm fine, okay? I should be asking if you're okay. I am, thanks to you. He smiled when she answered him. Silence enveloped the both of them. Sakura spoke up. Naruto, thanks for everything. What do you mean? When we were younger you stood up for me, when we were in the academy you still stood up for me, you even saved me from some genin, and that time a few days ago that you saved me from those two ninjas and then Zabuza the same day, was her response as she hugged him. Well you're welcome Saku. The boy wasn't able to finish. Sakura had pressed against him and started to kiss him. His reaction didn't surprise her, soon his brain caught up with him. He pressed back at her. He felt the smooth feel of her lips on his, the soft skin on her arms when they wrapped themselves around his muscular neck and the love her actions gave off. He swore he was in heaven. In Sakura's point of view she thought she had jumped the gun, but once she felt Naruto apply pressure back on her, she thought otherwise. The feel of his somewhat calloused hands touching her waist made her melt into his embrace and kiss. Their bodies' temps spiked as they went deeper and deeper into their kiss. She felt a warm sensation enter her mouth and go down into her chest. Then the sensation seemed to spread throughout her. The girl ignored it and continued with her activity. Finally after 7 minutes they parted. Wow, was the only thing either of them could muster. They were still in each other's arms. Hey kid. Nice going. Quiet fox, you're going to ruin the moment for me. Heh heh heh, sorry. So Naruto, I guess you know that. You love me? Yes, I guess that is true now that I think about it. Well, to tell you the truth, I love you too. She gave him a devilish gaze. Want to go for a second round? It's rude to ask for another kiss, but I don't mind. He replied with the same mischievous glint in his eye. They went for another 7 minutes. Man, they got lung power. Reluctantly the ninjas released each other and stepped back. Shall we get back? He suggested. Yes. Both happy they walked back to the house. Tazuna was still up when they entered. Kakashi and Sasuke are already asleep. You two should go to sleep. I want alert bodyguards if I want to finish the bridge. No problem Tazuna. The boy answered. The morning came as expected. Naruto being lazy slept in. Kakashi said to leave him. So the four traveled to the bridge to continue the work. When they arrived to find the builder's co-workers scattered all over the junction, the bridge builder ran to one of his workers. What happened? It happened so fast we don't know. Great, a thick mist began to engulf the four, excluding the workers. So I guess you aren't dead Zabuza. The Sharingan visible in Kakashi's eye. What Kakashi? But Naruto snapped his neck. I heard it crack from where I stood. The kunoichi stated. I know Sakura but I don't know how he survived. Because of me, a semi-tall ninja steeped out of the mist. My name is Haku. He used his excellent skills to replace me with a fake me, Zabuza informed. A clone jutsu? Kakashi asked. Something like that. Why didn't you attack when you could have surprised us? Sasuke ordered. Because, that boy could have killed me. Everyone looked surprised by the missing nin's comment. But enough of that, let's go Haku. Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu. 10 Zabuza clones appeared around the four people. One of the clones noticed Sasuke shaking slightly. I see this one is still a bit scared of me. Wrong, I'm actually excited to fight you. Before either of the opponents knew it, all the clones were disposed of. I see you have a rival in speed Haku, so it seems Zabuza. Naruto had just woken up. He headed downstairs to find Inari and Tsunami eating breakfast. Hey, where's everyone? They're at the bridge. Kakashi told me to let you sleep, Tsunami answered. What? I got to go. Bye. A yellow blur shot out the door. Fox. Can you sense that? Yes, it a Keke Genkai. Which one? I know the Sharingan, the Byakugan, and some others, but this one is new. I don't know Kit. Well, if I don't then I won't be able to find out how to counter it. We already know how to counter the Sharingan. True, which by the way nice technique when Kakashi tried to see my tattoo. Well, the Kitsune Deception Jutsu works great. What exactly do anyway? It's much like the Magen. Kokoni Arizu no Jutsu, except only someone with your blood can see through it. Any jutsus you learn from me only your children will be able to perform and detect. Fox, you smell that? Yeah, it's animal blood. The ninja looked to the side where he saw a boar cut up and some trees along with it. Those are heading back towards the house. I better hurry before anything happens. Back at the bridge, Sasuke was standing into the middle of the Makio Hyosho jutsu that Haku had just used. What is this? The Uchiha demanded. This is your demise. The nin answered as he entered one of the mirrors. Needles began to fly and Sasuke tried to dodge. It all proved fruitless. Back at the house, Naruto appeared right as the two ninjas charged at Inari. He quickly replaced the boy and his mother with a log. Way to go, Inari. You gave me just enough time to save you and your mother. Naruto, the boy began to tear up. Hey, don't worry, it's okay to cry when you're happy. The two men looked intrigued by the blonde. Can I cut him up? Yes, you can. All three charged at each other. Naruto versus Gatu's bodyguards. The boy threw two shuriken at the men and they parried. Suddenly the shurikens turned into Naruto copies. They jumped from behind and kicked the back of the men's heads. This knocked them out cold. I got to go, so be careful, Inari. Yes. Tazuna, I have to leave your side for a second. I must help Sasuke. Go ahead. The girl leapt into the air. She aimed it at one of the ice mirrors. Haku appeared in an instant to catch the projectile. That instant a blur came and knocked the boy out of his ice mirror. Sakura watched as the blur turned into her teammate Naruto. Naruto, it's about time. Sakura stated. Sasuke, you okay? The blonde asked. Yeah, you doby, said his scratched-up rival. Haku got up and looked at the boy. That is the same boy in the forest. At the last second, the Ice Bloodline ninja noticed a second blonde blur going towards the trapped raven-haired boy. Instantly he threw needles towards the legs. They hit near the kneecap and stopped the real Naruto in his steps. Sasuke was flung to the other side of ice prison. Nice try, Naruto, but you will both die. Sakura, get back to Tazuna. Why? Yes, Naruto. She ran off. Haku went back into his ice mirror. He's still in one mirror. Good. Sasuke whispered. Wrong. Both boys were taken back as they looked drastically around. Simultaneously 20 Haku reflections could be seen. The two genin braced themselves for the oncoming attack. 1,000s of needles began to fly around their bodies. It scratched and punctured their skin. What do we do, Sasuke? Naruto asked, trying to get up. You know your Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, right? Yeah. Can you please try to simultaneously attack all the mirrors? I am almost able to read his movements. No problem. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Sasuke focused his eyes and caught slightly glimpses of the moving body. When he saw where his enemy was going, he used his signature fire technique. They continued this attack for 3 more times before Sasuke almost got a direct hit. Naruto, can you do that technique one last time? Yeah, I think so. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. This time Haku quickly ignored most of the copies and went for the real Naruto. Needles filled the boy's body and he fell down motionless on the ground. This angered Sasuke. His eyes began to flicker in between red and black, but finally turned into his family's bloodline, the Sharingan. The difference was that he had 2 comma-looking marks in each eye. No way, I thought the Uchihas were all dead. Well, you were wrong, Haku, and you just ticked one of them off. Haku used Naruto to keep Sasuke at bay until he couldn't move anymore. This is the time Naruto woke up. He looked wearily at the blood-covered, needle-punctured boy and asked him. Why? He asked his rival with sadness in his voice. My body moved on its own, doby. Sasuke answered. You still insult me. Naruto, I couldn't kill him. Who? Haku? No, my brother. He killed my clan. I grew up lonely because of him. Now I won't be able to accomplish my dream. Don't say that. The Uchiha's life seemed to fade from his half-opened eyes. He was a worthy opponent. He deserves the respect of a powerful ninja, was what Haku informed. Fox. I know, Kit. Kill him. The fox told him, tossing some chakra over to him. The heat of the air increased dramatically. The pressure of the atmosphere was amplified as well. Naruto's eyes closed and his incisors and birthmarks increased in size too. A large swirl of red chakra erupted from the boy's body. The needles ejected and his wounds healed up. He opened his eyes to reveal the red and black slit pupils. Kill you. A blood-curdling roar shot through the still air. It was so fearsome that everyone in a 2-mile radius had to cover their ears. No, the Kyuubi has been released. No wait, it seems to be under control, at least for now, Kakashi argued in his mind. What is this chakra? It feels more potent than that of mine, Zabuza thought. By now Naruto had completely shattered 5 of the ice mirrors. There were only 15 more to go. He created 20 clones just for that purpose. They all succeeded. Haku was pinned on the ground by the real Naruto. Go ahead Naruto, kill me. This stopped the enraged genin. I am no more useful to my master, kill me now. Why would I do that? Like I said before, I am no more useful to my master. It seems Haku has been defeated, Zabuza said, and you're about to join him. Now it's time for you to see one of my personal justice. Kachiyose no Jutsu. About 20 different dogs jumped out of the ground around Zabuza. They bit all over his body and kept him still. The Kirigakure no Jutsu began to disappear at his point in the fight. Kakashi began to go through a few seals and yelled. Chidori. He charged towards his target. Suddenly Haku appeared in front of the Chunin. Blood poured off the boy's figure. He was dead in a second. It seems you failed, Kakashi. The demon of the mist attempted to cleave through both of them after the nindogs dispersed. The leaf Chunin jumped backwards with Haku still on his arm. With a little difficulty he pulled his hand out of the corpse. Respectively he closed the dead boy's eyes. Naruto stumbled over to see Zabuza standing there with one arm that he could use. Sakura saw him and ran over to him. Naruto, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. What about Sasuke? She ran past him, but Tazuna stayed by the blonde. The boy's ears heard the small whimpers of the girl behind him. The pain in his eyes would have made even the strongest man pity him. The 2 Chunin fought for a minute or so before the leaf ninja disabled the last arm of the mist ninja. Tap, 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 was heard by everyone. Gato, what are you doing here? Zabuza demanded. The short man stood there tapping his cane on the ground. There were about 150 ninjas standing behind them. Plans have changed. Well, that's not true. I had planned to kill you anyway. You were going to cost me too much money, so I had no other choice to kill you. Kakashi, our fight is over. I understand, Zabuza. Gato then walked up to Haku. You brat, you broke my arm. He kicked him. Serves you right, the short man stated. You jerk, you'll pay for that. Naruto yelled. Stop Naruto, you'll be killed. Kakashi instructed. Zabuza. Say something, weren't you 2 friends? Shut up brat, Haku is dead. How could you not feel anything at all? You 2 have been together forever. Just as Gato used me, I used Haku. Shinobi are mere tools in this world. All I wanted him for was for his bloodline. You can't mean that. The gray-haired man tried to speak but was cut off by his student. Just shut up, Kakashi. He's still my enemy. That corpse over there loved you. Howl nothing. His life revolved around you and you said he doesn't matter to you. If I became as strong as you, would I really become like you? He threw away his dreams just so he could fulfill yours. Kid, you don't need to say any more. It pained him to have to fight you. He didn't fight for me, he also fought for you. He was too kind. A little silence came and then he continued. You may be right, kid. Shinobi are still human. Let me borrow your kunai, kid. Sure. Naruto tossed his last kunai towards the man. I will repay my debt to the both of you, Haku and you, kid. He ran off towards the number of the ninja and Gato. A silver chakra erupted from his body as he charged. The ninjas who saw this couldn't move and that cost them their lives. Zabuza fought through the mass and stuck the kunai into Gato's stomach. A few men jammed their weapons into the mist nin. You aren't going to go to the same place as Haku, the short person yelled. Wrong. You and me are going to hell. He whipped his body around and decapitated the businessman. The injured male tried desperately to get to Haku's side but fell 1/4 of the way. Who's going to pay us now? Let's go to that village and see what they have, one of the hired guys said. Hey, is that a Haruno back there? One whispered to the leader of the pack. Pink hair, yeah, that's definitely one. I heard that she had a bounty for her capture and we all could become rich from it. Let's get her. Yeah, they all agreed. Kakashi didn't hear the conversation but Naruto did. He looked at Kakashi and activated the Kitsune deception to make his sensei fall asleep. At this time Sasuke had woken up from his part-time death. He saw Sakura crying on him. I thought I already lost Naruto, you can't be dead. Well, you're right, I'm not dead. This surprised her and she hugged him. Sakura, that hurts. How's Naruto? He's fine, you stay still, I try and get these needles out. He sat up just as the ninjas began to charge towards the group. You will not touch her, Naruto yelled. His voice was in a blood-curdling growl. He picked up Zabuza's sword and charged at the now frightened ninjas. He disappeared in front of them and then reappeared on the other side. Naruto turned around and ran at them again and did the same thing he did before. He slammed the sword into the ground to support himself. The two genin and bridge builder watched in amazement as all of the men began to fall into many pieces. None of them screamed. They were already dead before they could think. What in the world? How? The blonde walked over to Zabuza and looked down at him. Wow, kid, I never knew you had that much power. Could you do me one last favor? Name it. I want to see him one last time, no problem. The genin began to pull the weapons out of their victim. Due to his fatigue, he slowly raised the older man and dragged him over to Haku's body. Thanks. Hey, what are friends for? Friends, that's funny, kid. Okay, I accept that we are friends. I just wish I could have become friends with you earlier in my life. Thanks again. No prob. Naruto left Zabuza and walked towards Kakashi and picked him up, but fell back down. His exhaustion kicked in and he was out. It began to snow lightly. Pretty much what happened next is that the villagers showed up to try and protect their village but saw that someone had taken care of all the ninja that tried to attack. Then the villagers helped get all the ninja back to the bridge builder's house. Everyone's courage was restored and everyone got a good night's sleep. Naruto was the last to wake up, which everybody wasn't surprised by. The bridge was beginning to be fixed and building it was going more affectionately. Team 7 also helped in building the masterpiece. Kakashi and Sasuke had to heal up a bit before they could help work, but as for the rest of the team, they helped in every way they could. Naruto did some of the heavy lifting, or at least was heavy for his 12-year-old body. Sakura and Tsunami cooked the lunches for the workers. Sakura would make something special for Naruto every once in a while. By the third day of building, the two injured ninjas had healed up quite well. The days were long and hard. The routine was practically wake up, eat breakfast, work, eat lunch, work, dinner, and then lastly sleep. The teammates didn't get to talk much. Sasuke was itching to speak to Naruto about what had happened during the last 5 minutes of the battle on the bridge, but he had never gotten the chance to. After a week of building the bridge, they had finally succeeded in completing it. This meant that Team 7 could return to Konoha. As they left, one of the villagers asked Tazuna a question. What are we going to name this bridge? I have the perfect name for it. The Great Naruto Bridge. That's a perfect name, all the villagers chorused. Kakashi stopped about 2 hours into the trip back home. I'm a bit tired, let's stop here, he ordered. Yeah, right. He probably just wants to read his perverted book. Naruto whispered to his female teammate. She giggled at this response. Kakashi just ignored him. Well, I'll look for some food, Naruto informed the group. And I'm coming with you, Sasuke added. They jumped into the trees and were off. Once they were a good distance from the campsite. Naruto, I have a question for you. What is it? Naruto responded curiously. Back on the bridge when Zabuza attacked and Gato attacked, how did you take on all those ninja and do everything else after that? What do you mean? Zabuza killed Gato, then fell down. You then yelled something and ran towards the 80 ninjas and killed them using Zabuza's sword. After that you carried Zabuza over to Haku and then you attempted to take the unconscious Kakashi to us and fainted. I don't remember that. How could you not? I saw you do all those things when I woke up. Sakura and Tazuna saw it too. Crap. Take it easy, I got this covered. Perhaps I could explain, said a mysterious voice. How are you? Sasuke demanded. I am Leaf Anbu, captain of Squad 4, Fox. Well, then explain. What the boy said is true. I knocked him and Kakashi out and took the appearance of your friend. I placed everyone who saw in a genjutsu so I looked like Naruto. I am the one who killed all those men. They were all missing nins and I was ordered to keep an eye on them just in case they decided to show up. Thanks to Gato I was able to find them all. Still, how? Naruto is not the one who killed them. If you disbelieve me, use your Sharingan and see that I am not lying. The Uchiha revealed his bloodline and checked the Anbu's appearance and anything he could think of to check his truthfulness. I believe you. Naruto would be too weak to even take on 2 ninjas. I wouldn't say that Uchiha Sasuke. He took out a Chunin a while ago. Now if you'll excuse me, I must return to Konoha. With a poof of smoke, the elite ninja was gone. So you were able to take on a Chunin? Well, he threatened Iruka, so I beat the living crap out of him. You could have taken him on with your hands tied behind your back and your eyes closed. Thanks for the compliment. Do you remember why we came out here? The raven-haired boy asked. I believe it was to get some food. Sasuke noticed a stream and began to fish. The fish flopped in the makeshift basket the boys had made. What have you two brought for lunch? The Chunin asked. Fish. They all ate their fill and were off again towards the gates of Konoha. A couple hours Naruto saw a figure sprint past them. From his position in the trees he noticed the only thing about the figure is that he was wearing pure black. Kakashi. Do you know who that is? The blonde asked. Yes, his name is Bigoto Zakuro. He has no team due to the fact that they were killed in a B-rank mission 3 months ago, the man answered. What happened on it? They were to do a simple spy mission on the rock, but before they left the country they attacked. They successfully killed all the ninja. All but Zakuro were injured. It took him 1 day of straight running to Redux, did everything that they could think of. The 3 recovered slightly, but early in the morning they all died because of a poison that the doctors hadn't discovered. The mission had been a success though. Why hasn't he been assigned another team? Sakura wondered. He said he didn't want another team. His last team consisted of a good Chunin and 2 female ninjas. Ninja teams usually consist of 2 boys and 1 girl, but he refused to have another girl on his team. He has had a hard time getting over his lost friends. Why does the Hokage allow this? I don't know our Hokage's intentions for this. After their little discussion, Team 7 appeared in front of the large wooden doors. Naruto headed towards his house while the rest went their separate ways. Somewhere above Team 7. Hey, quiet Akira, a deep voice rumbled. Sure thing. His clumsy friend wisely stammered. Uzumaki Naruto, I look forward to fighting you one of these days. Akira, are you participating in the Chunin exam? After all, you just graduated from the academy at the top of your class, and you have completed 10 to 20 D-rank missions already. I went to the Hokage and he said if I wanted to enter in the Chunin exam I would need to find 2 more teammates. Would you? What have I told you before? I know, you don't want to have more teammates. If you keep doing this you'll never become a Chunin and you won't be able to accomplish your dream. So what do you say? You'll be able to fight Naruto. Fine, as long as you don't get in my way. The boy turned to leave his mysterious friend. Wait, there was something else you wanted to tell me, the older male informed. You might not like this, but I have already asked your girlfriend to join the team too. I don't have a girlfriend. If you have a death wish then keep calling her that. The young genin shook. His friend was known to be merciless when he was angered. Okay, but you have to get over your fear of girls that are near to you getting killed because of you. You don't know what it's like to lose the people who acknowledged you for who you are, not what your cursed bloodline makes you. Just please don't play with her feelings for you, okay? Why? You have no idea how much she likes you. You read her diary again, didn't you? Hey, I found a use for one of my useless jutsus. You might want to run now. Why's that? She's coming and her anger is rising with every step. How can you tell? Your eyes are covered. Hey, what have you learned from listening to my advice, Akira? You're always correct when it comes to her. Precisely, now run for your life. The dark figure ordered his friend. Akira. A feminine voice screamed from behind the black-clothed genin. Oh crap. Somewhere in town Naruto clapped his hands together and was engulfed in a red sphere. His father's clothes were soon replaced by his Anbu uniform. He disappeared in a poof of smoke. As he walked down the street he received looks of respect and admiration. So this is what it is like to be respected. Yes, Kit, so what are you doing now? I must tell the Hokage about what happened at the bridge. Should we tell Mrs. Haruno? Not unless if I get permission from the Hokage. By this time they had ended their conversation and were standing in front of the Hokage's office. He knocked and walked in. Hokage, he bowed gracefully. I sense that something is bothering you. I followed Naruto and his team with their C-rank mission. During the last moments of their fight with Zabuza, 80 missing nins said that there was a bounty on Haruno Sakura's head. I don't know what to make out of this. I believe that this may be the same organization that took Sakura's father from her 2 years ago, and I wanted to look at the report of that mission. Your assumption may be right, but why would you need to look at the file? You were on that mission to protect her. I was? You were knocked out somehow and you forgot that night and continued on with your missions. I thought you knew. Didn't someone tell you? No. Well, that's off the subject. The Anbu turned to leave. Oh, Fox. I have received a mission and the client has suggested you for it. I believe that you can handle it. What is it? Here. The old man tossed a large brown folder at him. He caught it and put it under his arm. The boy returned to his humble home. As he entered through his window undetected, he saw the basket of fruits and veggies Kakashi had given him a couple weeks ago. He picked up a random piece of food and ate it. For some strange reason it tasted extremely tasty. Now time to look at this mission. Mission. Protection. Client. Harunos Sakura Protector. Fox. U. Rank. S rank. Starts. As soon as you talk to Mrs. Haruno. Mission length. Unknown. Information. You will be guarding Haruno Sakura for as long as it is a necessity. Your objective is to protect her at all cost day and night. Wherever she goes you will be watching, unless it is the bathroom where she needs her privacy. Mrs. Haruno and Sakura have authority over you. Only if it is a dire or irrational situation can you outrank their authority. This document is for you only. If the organization WAB attempts to attack, kill all that are associated with the attack. Under no circumstances shall you spare any of them. While protecting her you must help her in any way possible. Well, good luck with this mission. Information about the girl is in the rest of the papers in this folder. Sincerely, Hokage Sandame. Interesting, isn't it, Fox? You took the words right out of my mouth. The Chunin exam isn't for another 2 months, so what do you want to do? I need to teach you one of my personal jutsus, the Demon's Eye. What does it do? I tell you later. The Anbu did a few hand signs and poofed out of the house. Lightly he knocked on the Haruno's door. A young-looking woman answered the door. Hello, Fox. You got your mission? Yes, I did. Why did you choose me? There are many other Anbu that are stronger than me that can guard her better. That's not true. You, out of all the Anbu, you have a determination that matches no other. Plus you would protect my daughter no matter what it cost you. So when do I start? Tonight. You can get all your stuff you will need to protect her and come back in time for dinner. Well, I sort of already have everything I need. The lady looked at the boy. His Anbu armor was new. He had 2 katanas criss-crossing on his back with the Haruno family's blade going down the middle of his back. His weapons holsters on his leg appeared filled to their max. His scroll pockets were filled as well, and everything else a ninja would need to fight he had already on his body. Well, if you want to wait in the living room you can wait for her to get out of the shower. Using his Kyuubi-enhanced ears he heard the running water. If he wanted he could probably get a good picture of what she looked like, but the Kyuubi made sure he didn't go that far. Stop that. Naruto, I don't want you becoming a pervert like Kakashi. Control your hormones. Man, sometimes I wonder why I had to be stuck in your mind. Sorry, Fox. Remember, kid, you can't act like the Naruto she knows would. I know. What should I do? She knows I'm shorter than her. I can increase your height permanently if you want. You can? Yeah. So do you want to be a head taller than her? Sure. 1 second then. A slight warmth crawled its way to his brain. Then suddenly a pain reached his system, but he shrugged it off and placed his hands behind his head and closed his eyes. The pain was getting worse by the second. Using some pain tolerance techniques he subdued the pain, somewhat disappeared. He soon heard light steps coming down the stairs. Even when she's not being a ninja she is still graceful. Sakura saw the man with the blonde hair sitting in the lowly lighted living room. Naruto? She thought. Oh, hi honey, did you enjoy your shower? Yes, mother. Who's that? The name's Fox. You probably remember me from a couple weeks ago, he answered from the family room. Yes, why is he here? Girl presumed. He is your guardian until this whole situation gets settled. What situation? I'm sorry I can't tell you, dear. Why? I wish I could tell you. The Anbu stood up to his new height and walked casually to the 2 females. He kneeled with his head bowed. Mrs. Haruno and Haruno Sakura, my orders are that I am under your authority. I will be there no matter what you need help with, but if you abuse this authority I was permission to outrank your authority. Ms. Haruno, I will protect you through thick and thin. Same goes for you, Mrs. Haruno. If you ever need me when I'm away from some strange reason, put some chakra into this piece of paper and I will be there momentarily. That sounded really corny. That was somewhat corny, the all three thought in unison. Well, I do need Sakura to get some groceries for me. You shall accompany her. Asu. This is going to weird, she whispered to herself while she walked out the door. I heard that. She grimaced. If he could hear something like that, then he probably could hear anything else she says that isn't in her mind. During their attack on the store, they ran into Ino. The blonde looked curiously at the Anbu. Who's Mr. Halloween Forehead Girl? A vein popped into view as Sakura's nickname was said. His name is Fox, Ino Pig. Why is he dressed up? Halloween isn't for another 6 months. Do you have a problem with my Anbu uniform? He said in a blood-chilling voice. You're an actual Anbu? She stammered in fear. Do you have a problem with that? He asked in the same tone as before. No, not at all. Are you two dating or something? Because I don't know why else an Anbu would be hanging with a nobody. Naruto bent down to speak into her ear. May I? He whispered. Go ahead. Sakura answered. In less than a blink of an eye, he had Ino pinned on the ground with both katanas criss-crossing against her neck. She couldn't move because of this Anbu's sudden action. I have killed many men, seen many people die before my eyes, and risked my life for this city and its people. Do you think I would be hanging out with a nobody? The pure fear in her eyes could be seen in her eyes. It was quite pleasurable for Sakura to see. Ms. Haruno, do we need to go now? Yes, we do, Fox. The two paid for the groceries and left. The sun was just setting when the couple returned to the house. Mrs. Haruno prepared dinner for the three and they ate gratefully. Naruto didn't take off his mask to eat, so he had to wait until his masters had finished and gone to bed. Before any of them had gone to bed, the eldest person said, Sakura, I know this may be a little creepy, but I want Fox to watch you in your room while you sleep. That is a bit creepy. Don't worry, Ms. Haruno, you won't even know I'm there. I guess I have no choice in the matter, but you can only come in after I tell you that you can. Understood. He finished his meal and then tapped on the girl's door. Ms. Haruno, may I come in? Yes, you may. He entered the large but warm room and found her on her bed reading a book. After an hour she placed the book down and went to sleep, but soon she began to stir like she was having a nightmare. Suddenly she shot into an upright position. Are you okay, Ms.? Please just call me Sakura. Yes, I should be fine. The girl laid down once again and tried to sleep but couldn't. She heard a voice come from the side of her bed. Do you want me to help you get to sleep? Do you know a jutsu that would help? No, but I can play you a song. How would that sound? What do you play? All kinds of instruments, but for this situation I'll play you a lullaby. A small poof sound sounded. He pulled a chair up and began to play a soothing tone. Sakura instantly recognized what the instrument was, but by the time she was about to say something she was drifting off to a peaceful sleep. He continued to play the violin for another 30 minutes before he stopped. The night went on. Sakura woke up at 7 o'clock. Her hair wasn't extremely messy, but since it was long it was all over the place. She heard a small chuckle from the corner of the room. Rubbing the sleep out of her eyes, she focused on the figure. The image turned into Fox. Did you sleep well? Better than I have in 2 years? So you liked my music? It was really relaxing, to tell the truth. Thank you. Now get ready for today. I need to go talk to Kakashi to see if I can train you by myself. Okay? Really, you're going to train me? That is if it is okay with Kakashi. Now go do whatever you need to do. I will be right back. He instructed with a poof of smoke replacing him. Kakashi was looking over the city of Konoha from the top of the Hokage mountain. A sound made him point his focus in the corner of his eyes. Hello, Fox. Hello, Kakashi. I heard you were protecting Haruno Sakura. What you heard is true. I was wondering if I could train her until the Chunin exam. You may. I'm training Sasuke and Naruto anyway. I really don't know what to train Sakura in. I can't teach ninjutsu, because she has such low chakra. Her taijutsu is good enough for her to become a Chunin, and her genjutsu I can't teach her just yet. However, her chakra control is amazing. So you need to figure out what to do with her. That's what I'm for. The Anbu turned to leave. Fox, wait, may I ask you a question? Go ahead. Who are you? You will learn in time. With another poof of smoke he reappeared in Sakura's room. Fox went through a couple of hand seals and whispered. Body Division Clone Jutsu, 20. Naruto had a clone that looked exactly like the blonde boy should without his Anbu armor. Go train with Kakashi and Sasuke. Do your best, okay? You betcha. There was a silence as the clone poofed out of sight. Fox. Is someone else in there? Sakura called from the bathroom. Nope. He simply answered. Sakura came out brushing her damp hair. Of course she was dressed and everything else that she needed to be ready for a day of training. What did my sensei say? I can train you for the next 2 months. Sweet. The two went down to breakfast. The elder woman had prepared a wonderful variety of foods for the two to devour. The two put their dishes away and walked outside. Where are we going to train? We'll be there in a couple seconds. Out of the blue he grabbed her and jumped onto the roofs. He jumped over a large wall in front of them and stopped after he landed on the other side. It had a large open area and a pool of water with a waterfall. The sun reflected off the water at just the right angle that it illuminated the entire place. Wow, what are we going to work on? Taijutsu? Ninjutsu? Genjutsu? All of them. Now, 2 months later, the training had gone quite well for everyone. Sasuke improved on his Sharingan abilities. Naruto got better chakra control and more ninjutsus, and lastly Sakura had improved altogether. Sasuke noticed that Naruto was his height. Even though the real Naruto is actually 4 inches taller than Sakura now, she is only 3 inches shorter than Sasuke. Team 7 met at their original meeting place, the bridge. Fox said he would watch over her as she was with her team. She went up and talked with Naruto. Fox clapped his hands and returned to his normal attire. Using one of his father's techniques, he switched places with the clone. Hi Naruto. Hey, have you grown? You're like, taller than both Sasuke and me. I am? Wow, cool I am. Now I'm not the short one anymore. Hey Sakura, would you like to go out for lunch afterwards? Sure. You could call it our first date. Their sensei interrupted them when he appeared. Kakashi, you're early. Naruto and Sakura sat there dumbfounded. Well, it's an important matter. I have suggested all 3 of you for the Chunin exam. It's about time I go to the next rank. Give it your best shot, even though you don't need to. Here are your entry applications. If you wish to be part of the Chunin exam, go to room 301 at the academy tomorrow at 4 p.m. OSSU. All 3 yelled in confident tones, minutes later. So Sakura, where do you want to go? Wherever you want to go. I don't want you to have to watch me eat ramen all day long while you are already done. How about here? She pointed at a small restaurant that was to the left of them. I have actually heard they have delicious food. Sure, let's go there. The two walked into the restaurant. There weren't a lot of people present, but the feel of the place was warm and inviting. The two took their seats and began to chat. So Naruto, what is up with you? I've gotten a whole lot stronger since the last time I saw you, the boy told proudly. My teacher has made stronger too. Who was your teacher? I don't know if I can tell you. Oh well, what would you like to go eat now? Naruto and Sakura both ordered what they thought sounded good. Communication wasn't what was going on during their meal. All they did was stare at each other when the other wasn't looking at them. Naruto's starting to mature. He is also starting to get quite handsome. The Chunin exam is making me nervous though. Am I good enough so I'm not in the way anymore? It looks like it's going to rain. Wow, Sakura is beginning to develop as a woman. She doesn't have a flat butt and chest anymore. Watch it, kid, I don't want you becoming a pervert. I know, Fox, but you got to admit she is hot. She reminds me of my girlfriend. Who was she? Her name was Haruno. She was a white two-tailed fox. Everyone loved her, but she had chosen me, even thought I was an outcast. To tell you the truth, Sakura reminds me of her. She had no blemish on her body and she had a face to prove it. Sure, she had an attitude that no one wanted to mess with, but she was still as beautiful as the sun in the morning when it rises. We got engaged when we were young. That is exactly how Sakura is. So what happened afterwards? 4 days before we were going to get married, she disappeared. Of course I went looking for her and found that a human killed her. I recognized the symbol on the forehead protector, and that's when I lost all control. I attacked Kahona because they killed her. Now that I think of it, I remember that there was something similar to the way that the person killed her and, oh, never mind. Do you know who did it? No, all I can remember is that it was a woman. She was beautiful but I didn't really care. When I attacked your village, I tried to find her, but failed. Naruto? The boy jumped from her sudden voice. Yes? He stammered. Are you all right? You looked like you were thinking hard about something. It was nothing. Did you enjoy your lunch? Yes, thank you. It was my pleasure. Like Sakura had predicted earlier, it started was raining. Sakura, why don't you come to my house until it clears up? Sure. The two ran for what seemed like an hour before they reached Naruto's house. He unlocked the door and she stepped in. Her hair and clothes were wet. Naruto was the same as her. While she stood there in the entryway, he told her to wait here. In his room, he reached his arm into the same wall he had pulled out his chest out of a few months ago. He reached in the second compartment. Pulling out the second set of clothes, he went back to the shivering Sakura. Here, there is a towel in the bathroom you can use to dry yourself. Sorry, I don't have any undergarments for you to wear. That's no problem. Mine are dry enough. She blushed slightly. The bathroom is the first door on the right. Oh, and don't put on that black underpiece of the clothing. It's weighted and its weight is from 50 pounds to 100 pounds. It feels light right now because chakra has been put into it yet. Thanks. She dressed and came out. What she wore gave a slight nosebleed to Naruto. Her slim body was acknowledged by the black undershirt that showed a little of her cleavage. The green skirt-like shorts weren't too tight on her waist and thighs, but were just tight enough to make her tiny waist known. She had a green waist-length, vest-like coat that made her appear hotter to Naruto's point of view. There were a lot of other things that made her look ever, but right now they didn't really matter to Naruto because he was too busy foaming at the mouth to care. Sakura blushed at this and asked him a simple question, hoping to wake him from his current state. So you like what you see? By the way, whose are these? The boy nodded furiously to her first question but paused before answering the second one. They were my mother's. I didn't know her, and all that I do know is that she died giving birth to me. Sore, don't worry about it. It is in the past. Still, you look amazing in that. She blushed pink. Why, thank you. You can keep them if you want. I have no use for them and they fit you perfectly. Are you sure? I don't want to take something that means something to you. Well, I'm giving something that means something to me to someone who is dear to me, he said confidently. She couldn't control herself anymore. Sakura leapt into his body, completely tackling him. Her lips instantly locked onto his. Her arms were wrapping around his neck while his were encircling her body. Naruto blushed when he felt her chest press against his. One of Sakura's hands removed itself from behind his head and traveled below his shirt. The instant it touched his toned stomach, his eyes shot open and his body was sent crashing through the floor, or floors to be precise. Sakura barely had time to keep herself from falling down after him. Luckily for them, no one really lived in that apartment building. Naruto. She screamed down through the floors. He tried to see where he was, but the smoke didn't allow him to. Finally the dust cleared and he looked up 10 floors. What happened? The ninja jumped up to the surprised girl. What happened? She almost yelled. I don't know, but you're extremely good kisser. She blushed immensely. This occurrence was really strange to the two. Neither of them knew what to make of it. Kyubi, do you know anything about this? Sorry kid, I have never experienced anything like that before. After that the two looked outside. To their relief the sky was clear and it was safe to take her back to her house. People gave amazed looks as the two walked down the road. Most of the elderly civilians and ninja recognized the clothing that Sakura was wearing. The only thing they were wondering was, why was she wearing the 4th's wife's clothes while Naruto was wearing his father's clothing? No one really knew the answer. Thank you for walking me home, Naruto. She hesitantly leaned forward and kissed him lightly on the lips. Their kiss would have deepened if Fox hadn't suddenly appeared. Pulling out a katana, he held it towards the boy's throat. I did think I can allow this, Uzumaki, Fox. Oh, Sakura stammered, blushing profusely. Sorry, Fox. The boy said, backing up. Just don't let me catch you doing it again. The Anbu informed, removing the blade. Fox, please don't worry about it. It was me who kissed him. He did force it on me. Oh, okay, but still, what would your mother think if she caught you next time and I don't? She nervously gulped. She knew how everyone felt when she lost her temper because she gained her temper from her mother's side of the family. Naruto left with a wave of his hand and blew a kiss. Sakura, wanting to show she saw it, caught it and placed it on her cheek. Are you two done? It's dark, you should get inside. Okay. The next day Naruto met up with Sasuke and Sakura as they walked towards the academy. It was currently 3:45 p.m. No one wanted to speak to the blonde because he looked angry for some reason. They soon appeared before a large group of genin. There were two ninjas standing by the door, blocking the entrance. The blonde walked up with his two teammates. Get out of the way, he ordered the older-looking ninjas. Makis, the one to the left, said, you don't want me to. Bring it, you punk. The black-haired ninja swung his fist towards Naruto. The blonde simply grabbed the fist and twisted his body. With a little of his strength he sent the older ninja crashing through the guardrail and off the second story. Y'll pay for that. The other ninja swung his fist. Make me, Naruto whispered. As the fist came down, the genin dodged to the left and raised his leg to almost 180 degrees from its original position. Once the other ninja had missed his intended target, Naruto brought down his leg with a lot of force. It sent the boy through the floor. Placing his hands in his pants pockets, he walked towards the door. He continued to walk even when he was 1 foot away from the door. Suddenly his body went through the door. Everyone couldn't believe what happened. Then the boy's head appeared through the door again. Yo, Sasuke, Sakura, you guys coming? It's just a genjutsu, you should have seen it before we got here, he informed as his head once again disappeared. Everyone followed, but the weak ones got trapped in another genjutsu. The rest of Team 7 followed their teammate. Since when could he take out two ninjas without breaking a sweat and detect genjutsus? Note to self: never mess with Naruto when he is angry in the morning, Sasuke thought. I wonder what is wrong with him, Sakura thought as she went through the fake door. They met their teammate who was standing in front of a set of tall doors. What took you? Came his voice. All of a sudden a poof of smoke occurred. Kakashi stood before them. I see you got past the genjutsu. I have come here to wish you good luck. Thanks, Kakashi, Sakura stated. Now, go and try your best. With another poof, their sensei was gone. Silently Team 7 opened the doors and entered the first part of the Chunin exam. There were at least 200 ninja in that room. Naruto instantly noticed that all of them were looking directly at him. Fox, can I play with them? Go ahead. I haven't seen fear in someone's eyes for a long time. Thank you. The boy closed his eyes and opened them once again. The only difference is that Naruto had red eyes and sharp pupils. Using his kitsune deception, he cast it on all of the leaf ninjas so that only people from other nations could see his eyes. They all jumped backwards in pure terror. Ha 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 ha. Nice kit. You got them good. Thanks, but how do you turn off these eyes? You don't know. Now you're stuck with them for a long time. Great. At that moment Zakuro stepped up to the blonde. I believe you're having trouble. How can you tell? I can sense it. The black-clad ninja lifted his face to become level with Naruto's. His usually cloth-covered eyes shone blood red. Naruto didn't flinch at all. I see you have the same type of eyes as I do, Baigato. Technically I can't see your true eyes thanks to your genjutsu. The blonde released the genjutsu that deceived the other genin's eyes. Is that better? It doesn't matter. I'm afraid I never introduced myself. I am Uzumaki Naruto. I am Baigato Zakuro. We have a lot in common, my friend. What do you mean by that? We both have no family left, and you know the same pain as me. How do you know anything about me? My eyes see all. Your clan is one of the most powerful clans that are known because they specialize in speed and power. Your father was the 4th Hokage. You have, how can I say it? The tall genin bent down a few inches to whisper in the boy's ear. The most powerful demon in your stomach. How do you know about him? He whispered so only Zakuro could hear. Because of my bloodline I can search your minds for anything I want to know. Don't worry, your most personal secrets I cannot enter. It's not my bloodline won't let me, it's just that only you can let me enter them. What is your bloodline? I have a scroll about your clan but I can't read it. I don't know why my father gave it to me. It's known as dragon's blood. My family was hunted down because of it. I am the only survivor. I was born with these eyes and most people didn't want to get near me because of them. As for the rest of my bloodline I can't show you at this point in time. Now if you need help reading it then I will assist you. I too want to know what that scroll says. It was nice talking to you but I guess they're about to start. Good luck. You too, Uzumaki. Zakuro placed the cloth back over his eyes and walked over to Akira and his other teammate. Naruto had reached the rookie 9 and placed the genjutsu back on. Wow, Sakura, nice clothes. Where did you get them? Ino asked. That instant Ibiki walked into the room. Shut up and listen, he yelled over the chatting. Everyone paid attention. Slowly the Chunin walked to the center of the platform. As you all know, you have been chosen by your country to represent your country in the Chunin exam. I am known as Ibiki. There was an uncomfortable pause. Now, everyone will get in an orderly line and pick a piece of paper from this box. When you have gotten your number, you will take your seat. Once this is done, I will instruct you in what else you will do. It took about 30 minutes for all 200 candidates to select their number. Once you all get your seats, we can begin. Okay, you will receive a piece of paper with 10 questions. You have 1 hour to answer them. You will all start with 10 points. At the end of the exam, you will need at least 7 points to pass. If you get one question wrong, you will be deducted by 1 point. If you are caught cheating, you will lose 2 points each time you are caught. If you are caught 3 times, you will be excused from this exam. Oh, if one of your teammates is excused, you will also be gone. Just one last thing. The last question will be revealed 15 minutes before the hour is up. He looked over the crowd and said, "You may begin." The hour began to tick away. Once most of the rookie 9 figured out that they were supposed to cheat in order to pass, they went into action. Sharingan, Sasuke thought. Byakugan, Neji and Hinata thought. The minutes began to run down, and so was the number of ninjas. Soon there was only 16 minutes until the end of the test. Pay attention now, it's time for the final question. Most of the ninja tensed. Just so you know, the 10th and final question have its own set of rules. The first is that you must choose to take it. What? If you don't take it, then your points will be reduced to 0 and you fail. If you choose to take it and guess incorrectly, you will never be able to take the Chunin exam for the rest of your life. Everyone was surprised, that is except Naruto. Hey Fox, he does his job well, doesn't he? Who is he, Kit? He is the special Chunin Ibiki. He specializes in torture and interrogation. He is well known for his work. That's a load of crap. There are guys who have taken this exam many times before. Some ninja from the rock informed. You're right, but it's my time and it's my rules. I will however give you a way out. You may choose not to answer the 10th question and you can try again next time. There was a great silence. Those who don't want to take the question, raise your hands and you and your teammates will exit. Many people raised their hands. The original 200 had been reduced to 90 and now was being reduced to 72. 10 more minutes passed before the Chunin spoke again. This is your last chance to quit. 5 minutes later. I guess this is all, so I congratulate you on passing the first part of the Chunin exam. Everyone was in shock. But I don't get it, most of the genin screamed. Ibiki didn't get enough time to explain anything. A suddenly ball came flying into the room. The shattered glass was thrown throughout the room. Oh no, what is the matter? It's Mitarashi Anko. Don't let her looks fool you, she is dangerous. She had a crush on me 1 year ago. I knew it, my team knew it, and everyone else knew it. She tried to make me take her home after a mission, and of course I did. She then tried to put her charm on me. From what I was getting from her, she wanted to. Let's just say I ran from her and she chased me for 2 days straight. Man, I wouldn't have wanted to be in your shoes, even though she is quite attractive with what's she wearing. I don't know if I could say that. Why's that? When she was putting her charm on, let's lot more to her than you first look at her. The ball unfolded and lo and behold, it was indeed Mitarashi Anko. Listen maggots, the easiest part of the exam had just ended. From now on it is harder than you could ever imagine. Ibiki peeked from around the cloth that blocked his way. Bad timing, Anko, the woman's sweat dropped. Sorry Ibiki, but, hey, you left 24 teams left. There are a few outstanding ones here. Whatever, by the end of the second test less than half of them will be left. Now all of you follow me to the second part of the Chunin exam. All 24 teams followed her to the second part of the Chunin exam. Welcome to Training Area 44, we also like to call it the Forest of Death. You know this place? Yes, I have only dared to go in there twice. Anko began to explain the whole situation to the genin while Kyuubi and Naruto had their chat. Is it that dangerous? No ninja ever should go in there without another person. That place is filled with bugs, large animals, and many other things. Okay. That would give anyone the creeps. Luckily no one here knows that. Well, it looks like Anko is done talking. I think it's time to begin. Naruto, come on, it's about to start, Sakura yelled over her shoulder. The blonde caught up with his friend and waited at the chain-linked fence. 3, 2, 1, begin. All ninja were in the heat of running. All of them were trying to get there and were also trying to detect other ninja. Sasuke began to sense other ninjas approaching their position. Naruto, yeah Sasuke, we have company. That instant, 100 kunais flew at them. Sasuke, you know what you do, don't I always? Doten. Doryuheki. A large wall of mud arose from the ground. Once it was about 100 feet tall, it solidified. Kunais were sent in every direction. Some of them almost hit their attacker. Cuckoo, it seems you are as good as they say, Uchiha Sasuke. Who are you and what do you want? My name is not for you to know yet, and as for your second question, I want you. Sasuke stared at the man up in the trees. He was tall, and his long black hair was flowing in the slight breeze. His somewhat peach-ish skin made him look weird with the clothes he was wearing. Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha Itachi is his brother. Even though I couldn't get Itachi to join me, maybe I can get his little brother to help me. After all, he is an Uchiha and they desire power above anything else. Sasuke. What are we going to do? Sakura asked. Okay, we all need to attack at once. Naruto from behind. Sakura, you hide from a distance, and I will attack from the front. Let's go before he puts up his guard again, Naruto informed. Right, move out, Sasuke ordered. The unknown, Genin, was still having a conversation with himself. Kaden. Gokakyu no Jutsu, Sasuke whispered. The Uchiha made the necessary hand signs. Naruto jumped from his hiding spot behind the enemy and kicked him towards Sasuke. The man felt like an idiot and tried to correct himself so he could land on his feet. His effort was all in vain because Sasuke launched his trademark jutsu. The massive fireball flew towards his target. Oh, so he can actually use that jutsu? Impressive. The man's body was engulfed in flames. His body fell to the ground. Bull's eye, the boys whispered. They were amazed when they saw their target get up and dust himself off. Do you obviously think you can hurt me enough to kill me? The man mocked. Both boys looked strangely at the man. His flesh seemed to be falling off as though it wasn't even his. Who are you? Sasuke asked. So now that I can't hide behind this face anymore, I guess I should tell you. My name is Orochimaru. Oh no, Fox. Do you know who this is? No, who is he? He is one of the Sannin. He was one of our current Hokage's students. He specializes in snakes. His obsession for learning all the jutsus in the world made him kill his own country's ninjas and use them as guinea pigs. He's about 50 years old now. I can sense that he is extremely dangerous. Be careful. I will. Sakura was now by Sasuke's side. I think we should begin our fight, except it will be for our scrolls. He pulled out his scroll and swallowed it whole. But also for our lives. Sasuke. Sakura, don't look into his eyes, the blonde yelled. His teammates quickly closed their eyes. Orochimaru was impressed. Tell me, Naruto, how do you know what I was going to do? I know a lot about you, Orochimaru. You use your killing intent to stun your opponents before you kill them. How do you know so much about me, kid? I have complete access to all the information in Konoha. Well, most of it, that is. This ought to keep you busy while I deal with Sasuke. The Sannin summoned one of his medium-sized snakes to attack the boy. It wrapped itself around the tree and slithered towards its prey. It struck, and Naruto jumped straight into the air. It continued to follow him. Unsheathing his katanas, he blocked its fangs. Using his strength, he flipped over the open mouth and started to slide down the snake's head. Once he got to about in between the eyes, Naruto twisted around and shoved the swords into the animal's head. While he slid, he completely cut open the head of the snake, instantly killing it. Sakura and Sasuke had been doing quite well. They were able to keep Orochimaru at a distance. Now the snake nin had trapped the two in a part of the open area. Sasuke took out their scroll. I'll give you the scroll if you just leave us. What? Naruto mentally yelled at him. Sasuke pulled out their scroll and tossed it towards the man. Naruto instantly appeared and grabbed the scroll. After that he punched the Uchiha across the clearing. Naruto, you idiot. What are you doing? You're not the Sasuke I know. The Sasuke I know isn't such a coward. The Sasuke I know would take on anyone no matter how powerful they were. The boy was taken back by this. The blonde saw the change in Sasuke's eyes. Though he was angered by his friend, he blew it off and charged Orochimaru. So this kid is brave enough to charge me head on. Kase no Yaiba. The boy swung his arm back and propelled it forward. The snake nin looked at the boy curiously. Suddenly he felt something hit him and he was sent backwards. The only thing weird is that he didn't see it. Now I remember, Kase no Yaiba is a wind technique that creates a blast of wind and it requires no weapon. This kid is quite impressive. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. 5 clones appeared and grabbed onto Orochimaru. Naruto smiled at the nin. What is he doing? Bunshin Deibakuha. Instantly all 5 clones exploded. Woo! Sakura exclaimed. Sasuke just looked surprised at the genin. How is he this strong? Then again, he was angry this morning and I didn't really help him any by trying that stupid stunt. Naruto is right, I was being a coward. While the raven-haired boy talked to himself, a large snake emerged from the smoke and headed straight towards him. Sasuke! The blonde yelled. Fox, give me some chakra, I need to get to him now. Got it. The snake's mouth was open to its extreme. As it closed, the distance between the two, Naruto appeared on top of the serpent's head. Quickly he opened a scroll, bit his thumb and placed the blood on the words. A large poof of smoke replaced the scroll. Chakra blade. The large blade that Naruto held increased its usual 7-foot length to a 35-foot glowing blade. He jumped up and stabbed through the animal's head. Its mouth was closed the instant it hit the ground. Unluckily for the snake, Naruto had stabbed through the roof of its mouth and had gone in an angle. So the snake's head was split in half from the front of the mouth to the back of its skull. Ripping out the blade, he made it disappear. You okay, Sasuke? I'm fine, Dobi. Let's get going. We need to get that tower quickly. The genin leapt into the distance. A bulge appeared of the dead snake's back. Orochimaru stepped out of the corpse. That Naruto kid is quite interesting, maybe I should add him to my subordinates. 1 hour later. Naruto, can we rest? Sakura asked, huffing and puffing. Naruto answered. Sasuke put his hands in his pockets and leaned against a root. So Naruto, what were you so angry about this morning? My stupid landlord had me working all night repairing the floors and ceilings I broke. Oh, so are you okay now? How could I not be when we have both scrolls? What? The two genin exclaimed. See for yourself. The blonde pulled out 2 scrolls. One said heaven while the other said earth. How did you get the other scroll? Sasuke. Deception. I used one of my blank scrolls to copy and then I switched it with Orochimaru's when I kicked him towards Sasuke. I made a duplicate of each scroll just in case if we needed to give an opponent a fake on or if we could switch one. That's absolutely genius, Sakura exclaimed. I have to hand it to you, Naruto, you actually did something smart. Now that we have both scrolls, we need to get to the center of the complex. Asu. After 5 more hours of running, they got extremely close to the tower. Night had finally come. We need to stop. If we continue any further, we might run into enemy traps, Sakura stated. You guys can go to sleep. I'll keep first watch, the blonde informed. Both of the other genin went instantly to sleep. The moon barely shone through the thick woods. Naruto watched as Sakura slept, and as the moon's light pierced through the treetops, it brightened her face. He took off his coat and laid it on her body. The large clothing easily covered her small frame. Well, this is going to be a long night. As the boy sat there in the darkness, he searched for any other chakra signatures. Luckily for him, he didn't sense one for about 10 miles away. Fatigue finally kicked in. He drifted into a light sleep. Any noise that his enhanced ears could hear would instantly wake him. Hours passed quickly and Naruto had woken up. Uzumaki had heard a few people talking. They were about 100 feet away from his current position. Dosu, there is our target, Uchiha Sasuke, said one. I know, but we must make sure that they are unprepared for us, answered the one who was referred to as Dosu. Whatever, was all the girl teammate could say. I better take care of these people before me team wakes up. Cast a sleeping jutsu of them. How about I just deceive their minds so they don't hear a single thing? That'll work. Kitsune deception. Naruto didn't stir because of obvious reasons. The ninjas began to close in on his teammates. 3, 2, 1. The blonde shot out from his position. Apparently he had surprised them, due to the fact that they froze once his eyes came in contact with theirs. He released the genjutsu he had on his eyes. Hopefully I get the hang of this eye jutsu. Why can't I move? All three sound nins exclaimed. The boy stopped 2 feet away from them to explain. It's because of my eyes. Now I believe we were about to fight. With one quick kick he knocked all 3 of them in separate directions. They crashed into the scenery that surrounded them. He's got a powerful kick. Dosu whined. Surround him, Zaku ordered. Dosu and Kin obeyed. You will not get in the way of our goal, the feminine enemy stated. Bring it. I will not let you touch them. The sound nins charged towards the boy. Suddenly they jumped into the air. Kage Senbon no Jutsu. Kin yelled. Zankuha. Zaku screamed. Thousands of needles went speeding towards Naruto, but halfway in their flight their speed increased thanks to Zaku's attack. Acting quickly the boy pulled out a scroll and summoned the same sword he used against the snake. It was an exact replica of Zabuza's sword. He placed his hand in the circle near the top of the blade and began to spin it above his head. All the needles bounced off, but the air pressure pushed the genin into the ground. Grabbing onto the handle the blonde opened the handle. As he did needles shot out at Kin. She covered her open vital points before the needles pierced her arms and legs and that ended up rendering her immobile for a while. Dosu, attack now. Zaku barked. The bandaged genin charged at the blue-eyed shinobi. Kiyomaisen. The boy yelled as he swung his arm that had the melody arm on it. I don't think so, Naruto said. With one smooth motion Naruto detached the melody arm and placed it on his forearm. Rearing his fist back he slammed it into the ground. Sound shockwave. Both of the male enemies were sent into some of the large trees. While the boys continued to fight Kin had dragged herself over to the sleeping ninjas. Hey blonde, I would give up if I were you, Dosu informed. Why would I do a thing like that? Because our teammate will kill the girl and Sasuke if you don't, Zaku added. Naruto looked at his teammates and at Kin. Fox, what should I do? Let me take over. Okay. Naruto's features appeared more animal-like, but his eyes stayed the same. In the blink of an eye he had Kin pinned beneath himself, Zaku pinned with 2 katanas crossing over his neck and weird-shaped kunais holding his hands down, and Dosu had the large sword hovering over his body. Kin began to blush immensely when she realized the position she was in. Naruto had his legs pinning her legs down, his pelvic region was extremely near to hers, his hands pinned down her needle-filled arms, and his face was extremely close to hers. Her blush continued to increase with every passing moment. Is he going to take advantage of me? She instantly thought. You can't be serious, can you? The blonde asked her. What are you talking about? Due to the look in your eyes and the blush on your face you think I'm going to take advantage of you. Was all she could muster. There was a longing silence until Dosu spoke up. We'll give you our scroll if you let us leave. Keep your scroll, I have no use for it. Now I believe your name is Kin? Yes, what does matter to you? Hold still. He ordered, this won't hurt much. She was right, he was going to take advantage of her. She began to try and struggle free but failed miserably. Using his hands he put her arms above her head and gripped them with one hand. Naruto began to grab the needles that were in her leg and pulled them out one by one. Then he went to the ones that had gotten past her defense and landed in her sides. Next he went for the ones in her arms and shoulders. She felt this strange feeling towards this blonde-haired genin. What is this feeling? Is he being nice to me? No one has really ever done that for me. His hands were gentle as they pulled out the needles. Summoning his large sword he replaced the needles back into the handle. After Dosu was free he helped Zaku out of his predicament. Dosu, toss all those over here, Naruto told the bandaged-up ninja. The boy complied, and with swift movements Naruto grabbed all the weapons. Putting them in their respective places he pulled out a jar of salve. Kin, here, put this on the wounds, he said as he got off of her. Thank you. I never caught your name. The name is Uzumaki Naruto. I'm Tsuchi Kin, that is Kinuta Dosu, and last but not least is Abumi Zaku. Nice to meet you, but remember, I could have taken your lives but decided to not. If you want, you can stay here in Kahona and restart your lives and not have to be controlled by Orochimaru. I have a friend who more than willing to personally see to it that you can stay in Kahona. If you need to contact me, use this. He summoned a strange-looking kunai. We'll think about it. Kin answered. Oh, and if you want the other scroll, there's a party of mist nins in that direction. Oh, and Dosu, here's your melody arm back. Keep it. I have another one right here anyway, and thanks again, Naruto, Dosu said. No problem. You guys better make it to the second part of the Chunin. I would look forward to fighting you again. The sound nins jumped towards the mist nins. On their way, they began to talk about Naruto's offer. Should we accept the boy's offer? Dosu asked. I don't know, Dosu, but the kid does have a point. We could start over with our lives, Zaku added. He was extremely nice when he helped me, Kin asked. I think Kin has a crush on Naruto-su. Shut up, both of you. The boys laughed as their teammate blushed furiously. The mist nins didn't know what hit them. They didn't realize what happened until they were disarmed and lost their scroll. Back with Naruto and company, the blonde watched as the three disappeared. He uncast his genjutsu on his friends. Sasuke, Sakura, wake up. They stirred and woke instantly. What is something wrong? Sakura inquired. No, nothing at all. We should get going before we are attacked before we get to the tower. Whatever, let's just get going. The tree packed what was unpacked and Sakura gave Naruto back his coat. After thanking him, they were off. Surprisingly enough, they didn't notice the melody arm on his right forearm. The three jumped towards the treetops. In about 2 hours they arrived at the complex. The sand nins were already there. Gaara just gave Sasuke and Naruto one of his famous unemotional glances. Once showed to their rooms, Team 7 had settled down. On day 3 of the 5-day limit, Naruto found Sakura in her room deep in thought. Hey Sakura, no answer. Hello, again no answer. The boy began to lightly tap on her forehead. Sakura finally awake from her thoughts to realize Naruto standing in front of her. Is something wrong? He simply asked. No, I'm fine. Don't lie to me. His blue eyes looked worriedly into hers. I hate it when you do that. For some strange reason I feel like I'm always useless to you guys. Is that what it's all about? He asked with a smile on his face. I'm serious. How can you be worthless? You give me a reason to fight. What do you mean? Haku taught me that when you have a precious person to fight for, only then can you become strong. This is an important lesson. You, Sasuke, Iruka, and Kakashi are the first to acknowledge me. To me you are my precious person to protect. I will not let anything happen to you. Wow, Naruto. I am your precious person. Of course you are, why wouldn't you be? She was speechless. All she could do was jump into his body and start kissing him. They continued on for a while until, of all the people to show up, Kakashi walked through the door. Am I interrupting something? Sakura jumped off her companion quickly. No, not at all. She answered, blushing profusely. Then why is there lipstick on Naruto's mouth? I don't wear lipstick, Kakashi. Oh well, it doesn't matter now, does it? If you two are done with your antics, you can join everyone in the dining hall. Thank you, sensei. Naruto slowly walked past the girl, but before he exited the room he whispered to her. Well, continue this tonight. She began to blush even more. Soon she followed her teammate out of the room. Dinner consisted of many things, most of them were delicious. The team from Sound had actually made it right before the feast had commenced. No one talked as they ate the meal gratefully. Once they were done, the 3 Sound members met up with the Uzumaki. Hey Naruto. Kin called to him. Yes? We 3 have come to a decision. We would like become part of the Leaf, Dosu informed. I agree with him. Zaku said. Good. Now all we have to do is to wait until after the preliminary rounds of the second part of the Chunin exam. After that I will get my friend to talk to the Hokage. Thank you, Naruto. Oh, and just so you know, if you get matched against Gaara, forfeit immediately. He is suppressing his true power and it rivals some low-level Chunin. Thanks again, Naruto. Bye for now. It was near the midnight when Naruto had finally entered her room. For some strange reason she was still up in the clothes he had given her. The boy looked questionably at her. Are you okay? His tone had a lot of worry in it. Naruto, I was thinking about what you said, and I don't really know who needs my protection. Sakura, it's no matter of who you can protect, it matters who is precious to you. Let's say your mother for instance. You fight for her so that she will be able to see you again. Sakura, I can even be your strength in battle. There are times where I wouldn't be able to handle a situation, but you will. Do you understand? Yes, I do. What took you so long for you to get here? Sorry, I had to talk to Kakashi and some other people. Who else did you talk to? Oh, amazingly enough, Sasuke actually wanted to talk to me. Really? Now that that is over, where did leave off? I think it was right here. He grabbed her sides and pulled her in. Kissing her gently, she melted into the embrace. They didn't kiss long, but it was enjoyable. Sakura, please get some sleep. We only have a day to prepare. Final day. All of the Rookie 9, Zakuro's team, Guy's team, the Sound 3, the Sand siblings and a team of Grass Genin made through the second part if the Chunin exam. A Junin stepped into the middle of the ring. He raised his arm to silence the chatting Genins. Now settle down. I will not repeat myself, a sickly-looking man announced. I will call out your names. When your name is called, you will enter the ring. I will tell you when you can begin to fight each other. You may not kill your opponent, but you may either beat them into submission, knock them out, or they forfeit. If you try to break this rule, I will interfere. Now we will begin. First match. A grass nin stepped into the center and a brown-haired boy named Akira did the same. The weird thing about Zakuro's teammate was that he wore his headband over his left eye. Once again the Junin lifted his arm. The instant his arm swung down, the Genin ran at each other. Akira began to do lots of hand signs. The strangely clad leaf ninja suddenly began to glow with an intense light. Everyone had to cover his or her eyes. It took quite a while for the brightness to disappear completely. Akira was fine, but for his opponent, he didn't appear to be in such good condition. Winner, Midamashi Akira. Akira jumped up into the balcony. Smooth Midamashi, real smooth. Zakuro stated. Well, how was I supposed to know that I was going to trip and hit my head against his? Don't forget that you fell on him, then kneed him in the chest, and then one of your explosion notes went off. I'm surprised that they even let you graduate for being such a klutz. Second match, Baigato Zakuro and Yamanaka Ino. Go get him, Ino, Choji shouted. That guy creeps me out. Then end it quickly, Ino. The large boy whispered to her. Okay. The blonde jumped down into the center of the ring. Her opponent was nowhere in sight. Baigato Zakuro. Please enter the arena, I'm already here, came a blood-chilling voice. A dark figure started to appear from Ino's shadow. It kept rising until it was about 6 feet 4 inches. Sadly, the girl didn't know it, that is, until she felt a light tap on her shoulder. Slowly turning her head, she jumped back in fear. For a small glimpse her eyes saw a scary vision. Regaining her composure, the girl got into a stance. Ready, begin. The Junin announced. The girl ran at the black-clad ninja. When she completed a couple hand signals, 4 clones became visible on either side of her. 2 grabbed, 1 grabbed each of his legs while 2 others grabbed his arms. The last one flipped over the top of him. Rapidly she did a series of hand signs. Putting her hands in a weird shape, she mentally said. Shintenshin no jutsu, I wouldn't do that, came Zakuro's deep voice. It was too late, Ino had entered his mind. She met a small version of the boy. She walked up to him and stood there for a while. Suddenly an enraged voice nearly shattered her eardrums. What are you doing here? It demanded. What in the world? You should not be here, a small voice quavered. It was the curled-up boy in the center of what she thought was to be his mind. Why is that? She asked. You will endure the torture that I went through, leave before. He wasn't able to finish. Zakuro's memories of his past teammates and missions began to flood into her mind. Some were pleasant, but soon those were crushed and replaced with all of his horrible memories. An intense pain shot through her head. She cried out in paw of here. The boy yelled. Please cancel your jutsu now. The silver-haired male ran at her. With all his might he pushed her out of his mind. She entered back into her body, but she was unconscious. Gently the tall boy picked up the girl. He jumped up to her sensei. Asuma, take her to a hospital. If you don't, you can say goodbye to the Ino you knew. What did you do to her? Sakura tried to beat him to a pulp, but Naruto held her still. He walked over to the pissed-off Kunoichi. It's not what I did to her, it's what she did to herself. What? Sakura, Ino's Shintenshin no Jutsu makes her enter the mind of an opponent. Its greatest weakness is that she not also takes over her opponent's body, but she also gains their feelings, memories, and other things. She witnessed his life, and it put her into a state of shock. It nearly destroyed her if it wasn't for Zakuro. Naruto informed letting her go. Winner, Baigato Zakuro. Next match. The next match went quite quickly. It was the feminine teammate of Zakuro's team and Rock Lee. The match didn't last long. Lee did a quick chop to the back of the neck. As usual, the sickly judge told the crowd that Lee was the winner. Next match, Harunos Sakura and she was going to fight the second grass genin. Begin. They ran at each other at a moderate speed. The grass nin pulled out a longer kunai. Using the forearm guards, Sakura parried each blow over and over again. Once she got bored of this, a blade ejected from the guards. It went parallel to her arm. Then she pulled out two knuckle blades that connected with the forearm blades. This made a protective metal weapon that looked like two L's on her arms. The pink-haired girl began to instantly put her opponent of the defensive. The grass nin panicked and fell down. Instantly Sakura was on top of him with her arms criss-crossing over his neck. "I forfeit," he yelled. "Wow, Sakura has come a long way." "I agree." The next matches went shortly too. Shino beat Zaku. Shikamaru beat Kin. Temari beat Tenten. Dosu forfeited to Gaara and Neji beat Hinata. The next battle was Sasuke against Choji. The two faced each other with stern faces. Choji was the first to act. Using his meat tank jutsu, he rolled up into a ball and sped towards the prodigy. Sasuke jumped up and was blown back a few feet from the impact that Choji made in the wall. "Chakura Kyuin Jutsu!" Sasuke yelled. His hand glowed with a dull blue color. On impact, Choji minimized and looked completely drained of power. Winner, Uchiha Sasuke. Next match, the last grass nin and Kankuro faced off. Using his mastery of puppets, the grass nin didn't stand a chance. Winner, Kankuro. Next match, Inuzuka Kiba and Uzumaki Naruto. The two prepared to fight, so let's see how powerful you've gotten dead last. Don't be so cocky, Kiba. Don't boss me around, you won't even be a challenge to me. Oh really? I bet you my necklace I can beat you in 1 minute. If you lose, the dog boy said as he pulled a silver chain necklace that had 4 sets of fangs on it. I will give you this. It's a family weapon. These are worth more than you can imagine. The blonde interrupted him as he held out a weird-looking kunai. It's a deal, loser. Begin. Naruto went quickly into a strange stance. His right foot was placed behind him and his left was in front of him. His right arm was bent at the elbow, so his forearm covered his eyes, while his left did the same, except it was a bit lower, about parallel of the mouth. All but his middle and pointer finger were extended towards the dog master. Legs, get this over with. A black aura began to slowly seep its way out of Naruto's chakra holes. It soon began to encircle the blonde. No one knew what this jutsu Naruto was doing. Kakashi, what is Naruto doing? It's probably one of his self-created jutsus. Do you know what it does? No, but maybe we'll find out. Kiba just stood there watching, waiting, and wondering. Suddenly his sensitive ears heard a low voice. It said, "Night of 1,000 strikes." The darkness that surrounded the boy shot throughout the room, blinding everyone's view. Only some heard the few sounds that were made from his attack. A few seconds later the darkness dispersed. There on the ground laid a pretty beaten-up Kiba. The blonde stood over him with a puppy in his hand. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. The preliminaries were through. The Hokage himself appeared in front of the winning genin. Listen and listen well. All 12 of you that have passed the preliminaries are going to participate in a tournament for the third part of the Chunin exam. After you get into a single file line, you will pick one piece of paper out of this box. When you get your number, tell the man over there. This process went relatively fast. The battles were Neji against Shikamaru, Sasuke against Temari, Lee against Gaara, Naruto against Shino, Akira against Sakura, and finally Zakuro against Kankuro. You have 1 month to train and prepare for your battles. Now go and prepare. Asu. Most of the genin shouted. Naruto was instant gone after that announcement. No one had a chance to stop him. The Hokage had just arrived when an Anbu was standing on his window sill. Is something wrong? Sir Orochimaru is here. Yes, I know, Anko has already told me. Lord Hokage, I have 3 sound genins that would like to quit their participation with Orochimaru and join Kahona. I could bring them in. That means that they would have to become missing nins and traitors to the sound. Sandame, I know that you now know that Orochimaru is the leader of the sound. They are willing to join us. Bring them in and I will talk to them. Oh, and one last thing. They might be sought out by Orochimaru and I believe they should hide with someone or somewhere. How about that one building behind the Hokage mountain? That is property of Uzumaki Naruto. Well, he doesn't own it yet. Could you deliver this scroll to him? It's the deed to that property and anything on it. Right away, sir. The Anbu disappeared swiftly. 3 sound nins were traveling around the large city. Suddenly a masked person appeared before them. Please come with me. The Hokage wishes to speak with you. Of course they followed. Once there, an old man motioned for them to sit down. Their chat went for quite a while. So where do you believe you were going to stay? We don't know. Orochimaru could try and find us pretty soon, probably to kill us. You 3 could probably stay with Naruto since he just got a large house that no one except a select few know about. No one can enter unless Uzumaki Naruto himself brings you in. Speaking of which, he's outside the door right now. When Sandame pressed a button, a blonde boy stepped into the room. Naruto, welcome. I believe by now you know of your family's house? Yes, I do. Did you need something? Oh, hi Kin, Dosu, and Zaku. Hello Naruto. They chorused. Naruto, I was wondering if you would allow these 3 to live in that house until it is safe for them to come out of hiding. I have no problem with that, except that that place is most likely a large mess. If they don't mind helping me move and clean, it would be fine. Don't worry, we will help in any way we can, Kin informed him. Thank you. Do you want to start now? I don't have a lot of things at my house, so it will be a snap, Naruto explained. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. It didn't take them long thanks to the blonde's clones. The house was large. Its front lawn alone was enough to let 2 powerful shinobi to have a good fight. The house was about 500 yards in front of them. Slowly they trudged onward, that is until they got to the front door. Opening the front door, they were all taken back. The place had some of the finest furniture. There was a large couch, a big screen TV, and a lot of other fancy things. Man, my father knew how to trick out his house. Naruto, come and look at the kitchen, Dosu yelled. Holy crap. The place was loaded with tons of ramen flavors, but it also had a large supply of health food too. There were actually 5 different fruit trees in Ed unpacking and choosing which room they would be staying in. All 4 of them ate dinner together. Hey, I forgot to give you these. The blonde tossed them each a leaf headband. I don't know if this is legal, but that Hokage gave me them. I'm going to go to sleep, I have a long month ahead of me. Oh, and if you need anything, do not leave this house, call me using that thing I gave you in the Forest of Death. Okay? Yes, Naruto. They answered. The next day Kakashi informed him that he would be trained by another Chunin. Naruto agreed to this condition, but during his training he ran into none other than the famous pervert Jiraiya, who taught him how to summon Gamabunta. The arrow Sennin taught him a few other things, but nothing much. The month came to a close. The 3rd part of the Chunin exam was about to begin. Thousands of people filled the stadium. The Hokage and Kazakage sat in the highest of the seats overlooking the fights that were going to take place that day. An announcer stood in the middle of the stadium. Lifting his arm, the crowd silenced. First match, Hyuga Neji against Nara Shikamaru. I forfeit, came the lazy genius. Are you sure? The announcer asked. It's too much trouble to fight the number 1 rookie of last year anyway. Winner, Hyuga Neji. Match 2, Uchiha Sasuke against Temari. The 2 entered the ring. Ready? Begin. Sasuke instantly disappeared. Temari's vision went suddenly black. Winner, Uchiha Sasuke. The crowd somewhat cheered. Next match, Gaara and Rock Lee. The crowd cheered furiously. Apparently this fight had been greatly anticipating. Ready? Begin. Lee took a taijutsu stance while Gaara just stood there. Lee charged and began furiously with a series of kicks and punches. None of them came in contact the sandboy. The gourd on the sand nin's back had blocked every attack the specialist could muster. 5 minutes into the fight, Lee took off some very heavy weights. The black-haired boy's speed had greatly increased. The sand had a very hard time to catch up with his speed. After a few well-placed hits, Guy signaled to Lee. He entered the first stage of the Lotus by opening the initial gate. Everyone watched as the black-haired boy wrapped bandages around the Sand sibling. Suddenly he jumped into the air and started to rapidly spin. Seconds flew by as the opponents plummeted towards the ground. Finally Gaara was slammed down. A large crater had formed where the impact had occurred. Smoke mostly covered the entire arena. "Is it over?" Ten asked. "Sadly, no. Gaara is more powerful than you think," Neji stated coldly. As Neji had said, Gaara came out of the smoke. He maniacally looked at Lee. Since the Lotus causes physical damage to both people, Lee wouldn't be able to move for a short while. Sand began to knock the boy across the field over and over again. It was hard trying to stand. "Man, I still can't move, and at this rate he'll knock me out cold." Unnoticed by him, the ground underneath him came up and wrapped itself around his legs. Some of the earth directly ahead of him changed into two large fists. Lee couldn't move, he was trapped by his legs, and all he could do was defend. At the last second, the boy had been able to lift his arms up to reduce a little of the damage he was about to receive. Loud pounding sounds rang throughout the arena. Everyone watched as the earth-made fists kept hitting the specialist repetitively. Gaara looked up at his sensei. When the man shook his head, the beating ceased. Lee fell to the ground in a bloody mess. Medicnans rushed to the blood-deprived male. In the blink of an eye they had taken him to the hospital. Winner: Gaara. Next match: Uzumaki Naruto and, I forfeit, the bug user's voice announced. Okay. Winner: Uzumaki Naruto. Next match: Harunos Sakura and Mitimoshi Akira. The boy, who mimicked Kakashi because he wore his headband over one of his eyes, stepped into the ring. The pink-haired Kunoichi did the same. "Ready, begin." She ran towards Akira, trying to catch him off guard. Creating three bunchins, the female genin surrounded the boy. Sakura had each clones seem like they were going to do a different jutsu. The real ninja was right behind the brown-haired genin. Somehow he was able to dispel all three and attempt to sweep her off her feet. Grabbing his shin, she was able to place a leg on both of Akira's shoulders. Quickly Sakura added chakra into her legs. After she placed her hands on the ground, she began to do a front flip. Mitimoshi was slammed against the earth a couple of times before he was thrown against the opposite wall of the arena. "She's pretty strong for a girl. I shouldn't have underestimated her." The fight continued. Akira ran at Haruno, not fast but quite good for a child of his age. Her voice called out as her hands flew through a couple seals. Doden. Doryuden. Touching her hand to the ground in front of her, a dragon-like rock erupted from the ground. The male genin analyzed the dragon. When he was about 50 feet away from the girl, it randomly started firing projectiles. Swiftly Akira's hands moved his hands in many directions at the rock. If you were watching the fight, it looked like he was mentally cutting the rock, but showing it physically. Suddenly it split into many fragments, missing him completely. Once again the boy started running at the girl. At the last second he jumped, attempting to kick the girl's face. Sakura arched herself backwards, barely avoiding the leg. After straightening her back, she used her momentum to do a couple forward flips. When she faced her opponent, her skin felt a force. "Don't think you'll be able to escape me now, Sakura." "What makes you think that?" she asked. "I have hundreds of strings surrounding your body. 200 strings surrounding your lower body, 200 around your upper body, and 150 from your neck and up," Akira responded. He was right, she was trapped. He must have attached the strings when she had slammed him into the wall. She had to admit it was a clever trick he had used. A loud noise filled the air. The wall suddenly moved in her direction. "How am I going to get out of this? Come on, remember what Fox taught you." Carefully avoiding the sharp strings, she pulled a scroll from her back pouch. Unluckily for Akira, one of his strings had pricked the index finger, and therefore spilling a little blood on the scroll. It activated when it came in contact with her DNA. Dropping it behind her, it made a seal on the ground. Sakura's body appeared to melt into the ground when the seal was completed. He sent out a surge of chakra, trying to sense where his opponent had gone. Soon his question was answered. A seal had drawn itself on the ground behind the unsuspecting boy. Grabbing his shoulders, the female chucked the male towards the closest wall of the stadium. As she had planned, the strings that attached the wall to the boy made the massive stone slab follow him. Once out of the path of the wall, she watched and waited. When both walls collided, she jumped up to the top of the wall. There was Akira sweating profusely and desperately trying to hold back the stone slab. Akira, take my hand. I can't, I need to hold back this wall. Sakura slid down on her back and stopped right next to the young genin. Pressing her legs against the detached wall, she strained along with the boy as they attempted to push the wall back. Akira, can you reach that scroll attached to my side? Yeah, but I can only do that unless you push harder. I will get it over with quickly because your reserves are draining faster than mine. Retrieving the scroll, he gave it to her. Using one of her nails, she dug into her palm and touched the scroll. Okay, I need some of your blood to help us out of here. Asu, he also dug into his palm with his short nails and spilled a little blood on the scroll. Okay, now, when I say 3, drop straight down, whatever you say. Sakura dropped the scroll, and the instant it touched the ground, a different type of seal appeared. Ready, 1, 2, 3. As soon as they let go, the wall started to descend on them. Luckily for THLL, and had a little room before they would be crushed. Disappearing into the seal, they both appeared in front of the entire audience. The mini Kakashi tried to stand but failed miserably. The girl, on the other hand, was able to stumble to her feet. It seems I can no longer move, Sakura. That makes you the winner. How? I have the smaller chakra reserves than you. How did you run out of chakra faster than me? I don't know, but that was a good fight. Well, good luck against Zakuro, faint. How does he know that I'm going to fight Zakuro? Winner Haruno Sakura, next match, Bigato Zakuro and Khan. I forfeit, came the puppet master's voice. Okay. Winner Bygato Zakuro. That concludes today's matches of the Chunin selection exams. Please come back tomorrow for the final matches. The crowd quickly left. Many ninjas stayed to help fix the stadium of any damages that may be quite hazardous in the future. Even though it was near dinner time, there was still time to goof around. Sasuke had gone home and everyone else did the same. Naruto, on his way back to his house, took to the roofs to get there faster. Entering his house, the aroma of food filled his senses. One of my favorite foods in the world, pizza. The blonde drooled. Hello Naruto, how was the third part of the Chunin exam? A black-haired female asked. Well, a few people forfeited and I won my first round. I fight Gaara tomorrow. What, are you going to forfeit? Zaku wondered. Nope. My father knew techniques to seal away the chakra of the tailed demons. Yes, Gaara has a tailed demon in him. That is one reason why I did not want you to fight him. All 3 of the new Leaf Nins were silent. Don't worry, trust me. I can defeat Gaara. I heard that they are going to show the last battle of the third part on the TV. You can watch it from here. Well, I got to go. I see you 3 tomorrow after the last battle. The blonde quickly left the house and changed into his Anbu armor. Walking along the streets, he received quite a few bows of respect. Finally reaching his destination, he knocked on the front door. Good evening, Mrs. Haruno. I assume Sakura is up in her room? No, actually I'm right here. Good job today in your match. I saw the whole thing. If wasn't for you, that boy would have been killed. The girl cast down her face. I didn't mean to kill him in any way, Sakura whispered. Don't worry, he will be all right. Fox chuckled. At that point the elder Haruno left. Do you have anything planned for tonight, Sakura? The Anbu questioned. I was thinking of inviting Naruto over for dinner, that is if my mother agrees. I could personally go get him if it is okay. That would be wonderful. As soon as her mother gave the okay, Fox disappeared in a puff of smoke. So I finally get to meet your boyfriend? Mrs. Haruno teased her daughter. Mother. Oh, you know I'm just teasing you, honey. I think it's great that you were able to get a good boyfriend. A sudden poof interrupted their little dispute. Naruto and Fox stood side by side. Their heights looked almost exact. Both Harunos put this notice aside. The blonde boy was welcomed with a big hug from a pink-haired female. I'm glad you made it, Naruto. Thanks for inviting me, Sakura. Say cheese, a voice called. What? They both looked at Fox. A small flash blinded them for a second or so. A picture had been taken, and the Anbu had handed it to Mrs. Haruno. How cute, she squealed. Mother. Before the young Kunoichi could grab it, her mother had framed it and put it on a shelf where she couldn't reach it. Still, the 12-year-old girl could still see the picture. The photo had both genin looking at the camera. Their arms wrapped around each other, and their faces were just starting to blush. "It's not that bad of a picture, Sakura," Naruto informed. "If you weren't my boyfriend I would smash you through that wall." Nervously the blonde placed his hand behind his head. "You three can wait in the living room while I prepare dinner." "Okay," the three said. The dinner was delicious as expected from a mother like Mrs. Haruno. At about 11 o'clock at night Uzumaki left the house. The next day came faster than most expect, but no one cared. Today was the day that historical fights would take place. The Uchiha prodigy against Hyuga prodigy. Gaara of the Sand against dead last Uzumaki Naruto. And finally the mysterious Zakuro against the smart Haruno Sakura. "I can't wait for the first fight. It's going to be Uchiha Sasuke against Hyuga Neji. Do you think the stadium will even be able to hold their battle?" a viewer stated. "It would be lucky if the arena did hold up," another person answered. At least 5,000 to 10,000 more people showed up than the day before. "This ought to be interesting," Zakuro's voice sounded. "Don't let that girl punch you, my friend. I can say from experience that she can pack quite a punch," Akira informed. "But unlike you I am not a wimp. Oh harsh man, you need to lighten up a little, there are good things in this life you know." All 6 ninjas stood in the middle of the ring as the last people took their seat. "It is time to start the final fights of the Chunin exam." The crowd cheered hysterically until the announcer raised his hands asking for silence. First match, Hyuga Neji, Uchiha Sasuke. Once again the audience went berserk with yelling and clapping. The other 4 participants left the fighting area. Both prodigies stared each other down, waiting for the announcer to say start. "Begin." Sasuke charged first, attempting to sweep Neji off his feet. Sensing this attack the Hyuga jumped up. At the last second the boy noticed his error. Uchiha changed his assault. Dynamiku Entori. Sasuke's foot shot up and hit Neji square in the chin. The blow sent the boy straight towards the sky. Chakra soon gathered to help the Uchiha jump. His speed was unrivaled by any displaced so far in the fights. Numerable hits were successfully applied to Neji's body. Before he had landed on the ground he wasn't looking so good. Most of Sasuke's strikes were centered on his torso. The long-haired boy activated his Byakugan as the other activated his Sharingan. "Now it's time to get busy," said the cocky younger genin. The rest of the match consisted of many fire and Hyuga jutsus. The most exciting part of the battle was when Sasuke charged with his Chidori blaring. That's when Neji put up his ultimate defense, Hakesho Kaden. The sphere was up the precise moment the Chidori was 1 yard away from Neji. The thing that surprised everyone is that Sasuke stood still as the Hyuga's chakra barrier flowed around his arm. The battle was ended after that when the older genin used his Hake Hyaku Naijahachi Sho. Usually that would kill a normal human, but Sasuke was lucky that he dodged the very last 64 strikes. Even though the boy was soon knocked out he was barely able to stand. Winner, Hyuga Neji. Next match, Uzumaki Naruto, Gaara. Both males entered the rings staring each other down. The pure tension between them suffocated most of the people in the area. "Fox, do you see that? That gourd on his back has the one-tailed demon in it." "Yes, Kit. How should we start off this match? Let's wait to see what he does first. That Ijutsu I activated last night and I still haven't figured it out how to turn it off. I will be able to see what he is going to do. We can instantly win if you seal him with the one-element seal." "I know, but I must use it on the gourd or a major part of his body." "He's coming, get ready." A large wall of sand came surging towards him. "You want to play rough, fine, Kaden. Ryuka no Jutsu." The fire-made dragon bearded its teeth and roared. Compared to the wall the dragon was not small. It was about half the size of Gaara's attack. The large flame lizard encircled Naruto with its long body. "Ready?" Naruto seemed to be asking his friend. Suddenly the blonde charged forward. Pulling back his arm, Naruto sent the dragon forward as his fist thrust into the sand. Instantly the sand turned to glass. The sun reflected its bright rays right into the sand ninjas with his arms. Shock went throughout his entire being. There right in front of his face was the blonde. "Hello Gaara." Kaden's sound barrier break. Time froze, flames erupted from his shoulder blades forming wing-like structures. Time continued, Placing his forearms in a criss-cross way, the boy launched forward, catching the redhead's chest with his arms. In mere milliseconds he slammed Gaara against the far wall. Only a small amount of sand had helped protect Gaara from the impact. The wall looked normal until a few seconds passed by. The wall around the sand genin's body caved in. An ear-shattering sound surged throughout the entire town. What was that? The boy asked desperately, trying to breathe. Weren't you listening before? It's my sound barrier break. I use a large amount of chakra to propel myself forward into my opponent. It has two styles, fire and normal. The normal version just harms you, while the fire not only hurts you, it also burns you. You should feel the effects about now. He screamed as he felt the effects of the attack. The sound was so filled with pain most of the people covered their ears. If the boy's sand barrier that covers his body hadn't have been knocked off, he would have been turned into a glass sculpture. Naruto grabbed the singed body by the collar and threw him near the center of the stadium. The blonde suddenly vanished and reappeared 20 feet above Gaara. After shooting through a few hand signs, Uzumaki pointed his index and middle finger at his opponent's temple. A purple chakra launched into the symbol on the left of his forehead. One element seal. Before he could let out another scream, he slipped into unconscious. His demon won't bother him unless I unseal it. Everyone was amazed that the dead last had beaten a powerful genin. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. Next match, Harunos Sakura, Bigato Zakuro, the referee announced. The black-clad ninja jumped into the arena exactly when Sakura did. Ready, begin. Grabbing about 20 kunai, she threw them in rapid succession. Each weapon had a small pink packet ties to the end. Zakuro stood there as they began to rip his cloak apart and then bounce off his flesh. Each packet, once colliding with him, broke open, shooting a pink powder. Sakura Fubuki no Jutsu, she stated as she threw a kunai with an exploding note attached to its handle. The powder ignited the instant the note started to burn. A dome of flame soon occurred. Once it cleared, Zakuro looked at the girl through closed eyes. The cloth that usually hide his eyes from people had been completely destroyed, along with his shirt, cloak, and gloves. The thing that stood out the most was a diamond-shaped scar on his sternum. Nice try, Sakura. I'll give you another free shot. During her last attack, she had circled around to his back. The boy turned himself so he could see her. His eyes were still shut for unknown reasons. Sakura charged at him. Pulling her fist back, she propelled it forward. She had hit her target, which was the scar on his chest. I really wish you wouldn't have done that. A silverfish sphere ejected from the scar and engulfed the shirtless ninja. Dragon's blood, a ferocious voice called out. A huge chakra caught everyone's attention. Zakuro stepped out of the sphere. His skin had changed to a dark grayish color. His teeth had sharpened, his ears had become pointed, and his arms were bigger than before. They looked like nightmares of Soul Calibur 2. Let's get this fight started, said the primal voice again. Akira had just arrived when Zakuro had undergone his transformation. Oh no, Sakura better be able to handle this Zakuro, because he is in search for blood. What? Naruto yelled at the injured boy. Zakuro's blood limit is known as Dragon's Blood. When he transforms, his dragon instincts kick in and he wants blood. Sakura is in a lot of trouble unless she can defeat him. Has anyone ever been able to defeat him? No. When his teammates were killed, he took his revenge on the village that housed the ninja. You're probably familiar with the village of the Jagarta. What? He took on the second largest village in the country of the rock. Yes. No one survived. Sakura got lucky a few times when she dodged her opponent's attacks. She could tell he was just playing with her. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, 4 clones popped into view and created a circle around Sakura. Doryuden, the first stated. Hayatan. Haryumoko, the second said. Hayatan. Kokuryubo Fusetsu, the real one whispered. Kaiten. Ryuka no Jutsu, the third announced. Sweden. Suiryuden no Jutsu, the last declared. Earth, ice, darkness, fire, and water, circle of the 5 dragons. The earth dragon bit her left thigh. The ice froze her right thigh. Darkness attacked her left arm while the water nearly broke her right arm. However, the fire dragon shot straight towards her stomach. Strangely, it seemed to be sucked into her belly. Still, the kunoichi fell to the ground. All of her limbs refused to move. Blood was trickling down everywhere. Sakura had to spit just to be able to breathe. It's time to end this. It hurt, but she still raised her head to watch him. His hands couldn't be seen by her as he went through what seemed like 10 minutes of hand signs. Oblivion Final Judgment. Making a crater as he jumped into the air, he entered the atmosphere. What am I doing? Winning this fight? A primal voice called from inside Zakuro's head. I don't want to kill her, he retorted. It's too late now, there is no one that can stop me now. There is one, Naruto, please stop me, the silver-haired boy yelled. What, Fox, what do I do? The boy asked urgently. Kid, remember that barrier I taught you? Yes, do it, Kyuubi called. Won't it reveal too much of my power? What's more important, Sakura or your secret? Naruto disappeared just to reappear standing over Sakura. He pricked his two longest fingers on each hand. The blonde waved his hands in the air and made a circle. Then his arms went wild as the blood made a seal in midair. He made barely a minute to complete this seal. Zakuro was about 20 feet away when the blonde finished his blood seal. Gather chakra, he forced it into the seal. 9 tails barrier level 1, he mentally screamed. 9 tail-like structures shot out of the ground and surrounded the two genin. Thank you, Naruto. Both forces collided. Heat was building up and a lot of people had to back up. Naruto's and Zakuro's power were currently matched. Kid is putting more chakra into his attack, level 2. Hurry up and knock him back, you don't want to run out of chakra. Fine. He breathed. Level 4. The dome that surrounded Sakura and Naruto expanded and blew away Zakuro. Dust shot up everywhere. Throwing a kunai towards the hospital, Naruto vanished. Winner, Baigato Zakuro. Next match will happen in another hour. Please come back and watch Hyuga Neji fight Uzumaki Naruto. The end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next part.